Bam, we're live. Travis, I see what you're doing. You're trying to compensate for those lashings I gave you last night. Holy shit, I'm red. What's up, Nick?
What's up, Sevan? How you doing?
Oh, my audio's all jacked up.
How's my audio?
It's so good.
Okay.
When the show's over at night, I turn off my headphones and go onto my speaker on my computer. You know, like the show's over and I just kick off my headphones and I lean back and I talk to whoever's left on the screen. That's when we say all the real good shit. And then I always forget to put it back to my headphones.
Gotcha. Mine, I have like a plug-in, so whenever I unplug it, it like automatically goes to the speakers, like whatever I'm like dealing with, say YouTube, Twitch, and then whenever I plug in my headphones, all that like goes right to my headphones.
Oh,
so
that's
kind of
nice.
it's just like automatic. So
yeah, and then you have a switch where you could switch it back though, right? You could go into some settings and put
some settings, and then the speaker, do whatever I gotta do. So
you're a PC guy.
Yeah, so kind of just recently got into it, kind of forced into it as well, because PC gaming is kind of next level of like compared to, I guess, consoles like Xbox right there, and then I got the new PlayStation right there.
Yeah.
So I kind of got, and then I got my PlayStation right here, but it's kind of like it's kind of cut off. But
no serious gamer uses an Apple.
Not that I know of. No, I think it's just like CPU. I don't know if you're really into computers like that and stuff, but okay. Yeah. So
I think I am. I think I am until you tell me I'm not. I love going over here to my I love going over here because I'm a spoiled kept man and going about this Mac and just being like, yeah, it's fully loaded. Look at that. Oh yeah. 12 terabytes of internal, 128 gigs or like you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure you could play like Call of Duty, Battlefield. I'm sure you would get like good frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure, but I guess I just heard like Windows is for gaming and Mac is for like working and creative and design and stuff. So
Mac is for like active. Mac is like if you pretend like you care about black people but you really don't and you want to oppress them. It's fake activism. That's what Apple is.
I guess it's kind of like
I got fake activism. It's the woke computer.
Yeah, it's kind of going for the brand. Like, hey, I got the Mac. What do you got?
Computing.
You know.
Speaking of which, Microsoft's a bunch of cunts too. But anyway,
I don't really deep dive too much into it. You know.
You don't.
Not too much. Not too much. I don't really
you
watch
get
TV.
And you can still do. I'm sorry. You can still do gaming when you have COVID. Holy shit! Look at your computer.
Yeah. Oh, so here it is. Yeah, this is the bad boy right here. I got this about 7-8 months ago because I obviously wanted to start some live streaming, and I was like, you know what? The way that I like to go with things is all in or nothing. So I kind of got one of the best PCs that you can get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like that all in or nothing. It reminds me of a story. Caleb, hi.
How you doing, Caleb?
Caleb's here he's going to chaperone this conversation to make sure like we behave.
Oh, good, man. I mean, I'm 23, so I don't know if I need chaperoning, but
you need chaperoning. You need chaperone. Everyone needs a good chaperone. I mean, we never met before, huh?
You know, I was thinking about maybe we met at the games at one point, but I was actually thinking on a run before the podcast. I don't know if we ever encountered, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely knew who you were. You won the kitty competition in 2016.
Yeah, so the first ever teenage competition.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that was the first year. So whenever I started CrossFit, I was 15 and a half, I'd say. And that was the first open I did. But I was kind of tiptoeing, fucking around. Like I did the first workout and I think it had double unders. I want to say that was the 15 snatches and 30 double unders at 75 pounds. And, you know, I got some double unders and I was happy to do it and all. But then I got serious the next year and then they announced the teen division. And I was like, perfect. No, I mean, I guess timing just was perfect.
Well, what do you mean timing? You were amazing.
Well, I guess that just gave me like a little more like oomph, like, holy shit, like I'm 16 and now they just put this, you know, division in for me almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought you were saying like timing, like you were lucky you won it. You were definitely not lucky. You were a freak.
Oh yeah, no.
You were a freak.
I kind of just picked it up quick. So I played football. I played football since I was probably 7 years old, and I was always in the weight room. Just I probably started personal training when I was like 10 or 11 years old, probably way younger than you should, you
You
know?
mean you had a personal trainer or you had clients at 10?
No, I had a personal trainer. Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
that
No,
wouldn't that be awesome if you were 10 and you had clients?
no, hell no, no. My mom was paying a personal trainer for me and my brother at the time.
No
So
shit.
yeah. So we were kept under a watchful eye for I would say 3 or 4 years
You know,
while
it's
we were
funny.
young.
As you said that, I was thinking, fuck, you have fucking batshit crazy parents. But I actually had a personal trainer. I have like 5 personal trainers for my kids, and they're like 5 and 7. So I guess I'm even more batshit crazy than your
You,
parents.
you know what though? The funny thing is my dad, he's a tow truck driver and a mechanic. He owns his own business,
Mhm.
and he's gone. He's gone, 7 in the morning. I would say comes home 8, 9 at night, sometimes doesn't.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really push me. He kind of just he's the old school Italian dad, make sure, you could afford life insurance, make sure, that whole thing. And my mom is just like whatever dreams, whatever aspirations that you have, go after it, and whatever I can give you, I'm going to give you. Like however I can help you and however I can help steer you that way. And that's how she's been for like as long as I've known. And I feel like that's kind of helped me because just like dive into like endeavors instead of just like being afraid.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
I want wow, she's young. How old's your mom?
So right now she's 50, but I want to say, or 51, but I want to say what this was
Oh, I'm the
five, five,
same
six
age
years
as your
ago.
mom. It's crazy.
I gotta be honest, and I could be biased, but my mom and my dad, they look good. I think my dad's 48 and my mom's 50, and I look at them, and I'm like, damn. So I would say they probably still look good till 65, I would say.
Yeah, my mom's 112 and she looks amazing. She
I
looks so good.
I truly believe that people are gonna live longer.
I actually just told my mom the other day, I said, when you come into a room, you light up a room. Like usually like old people don't do that.
how old is she actually, if you don't mind me asking?
79 maybe.
Okay.
She was doing CrossFit the other day and she was running sprints and she fell and she was kind of like, it was cool how it affected her because on one hand she's like, damn, I'm old as fuck. Like she's like, I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, when you fall you're supposed to catch yourself. She goes, yeah. The way she described it, she just kind of watched herself like in slow motion fall, right?
You know,
She's like, shit, like I couldn't do anything to like stop it. But on the other hand, like she's fine. She's like, damn, if I'd have broke a hip, I'd be like toast. You're toast. She's like, yeah, her hands are all beat up and stuff. And she got up and finished the workout. She said it scared the shit out of the people at the gym, though. You know what I mean? You just see some old lady
yeah.
fall. Everyone's like, she's
Oh
dead.
yeah, yeah.
Like
So two things. So I had a similar experience at CrossFit Mayhem. So I was doing
Rich's dad fell.
no, I fell actually just straight off a box, and I put an Instagram reel, and the reaction, Lindy Barber, I'm sure you remember Lindy Barber.
Yeah, yeah.
She was judging Angelo DeChico right next to me, and it's like we were doing box jump overs, and my heels just stood on the box, and then I just face dove right into it, and Lindy kind of just like gave like a little look over, and then kind of just got right back to work. So that kind of just reminded me of this little
Caleb, how did you get that so quick? How'd you do that? You just heard and you're already just scouring his IG. You're just good. He just shrugged his shoulders. He's like, I just good. Just
Oh,
good.
and also Sevan, I wanted to also say, so I want to say my grandma's around 78 or 79, and
Uh-huh.
to be honest, I couldn't imagine taking her like her taking a fall and being able to get back up and keep moving. So the fact that your mom could do that, I think that's awesome, Sevan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
an
My Devesh Maharaj. What an eclectic group. This is such an inclusive podcast. I'm glad our DEI team has done a marvelous job. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Because my grandma is just an Italian grandmother that cooks the best meatballs, and I couldn't imagine if she fell, I would probably dive to catch her before she hit the ground. Like, I just feel like she's fragile. You know what I'm saying?
I've reached this point. I don't know. And you may be old enough for this too. I can't. How old are you?
23 and a half.
Oh no, maybe you're still you're getting there. There's this point in your 20s, I think it happens in your 20s where you can't fall backwards anymore your back will go out. You know what I'm saying? That like if you're running on a wet lawn or you're running on ice or if you're running downhill and you start to slip, like just a mature faller knows, hey, you got to keep going forward. Do you know what I mean? Or like skimboarding. You know skimboarding? That thing where you
Not
run
too
on the
much.
beach. Well,
Not too much. But
basically, they're making.
I do have a life experience actually. So outside in the back of my house, we have like a long leash, I would say 50, 60 feet, and we connect my dog to it. We also have a fence, but my
God, you
mom
are Italian East Coast. That is so Italian
exactly,
East Coast.
exactly.
It's tied to a tree, and your dog, he's been left out there
Exactly.
overnight.
Exactly. So anyway, I was
That's
playing.
also some white trash shit too. We used to do that in my neighborhood.
So we have a fence, but my mom wants the leash for like additional, like, oh, what if he jumps over the fence and then chases a squirrel, and then at least we have the leash on him. So
Right.
it's just like I wish that we could freely, because in Tennessee, oh my God, the dogs, I'm sure they run to neighbors' houses. I'm sure they run down the street and then they come back. They're just
Right.
free.
Right.
But over here in New Jersey, New York, that can't. But so anyway, so the leash, well, it's long. So I threw the ball and I wasn't watching, but the leash was right under my leg. And then
Oh,
my dog took at like full speed and it took me out right under. And that's funny you say that because I actually fell right on my back ass. And I think I like fractured my ankle and
when was that?
that was actually like 2 years ago.
Yeah, there becomes this point like where you're running on like if I play a lot. I used to play a lot of frisbee. Now I still play some, but I play almost all beach frisbee. But I used to play a lot of frisbee on grass. And if you running and for some reason the grass is wet and some reason you start to slip, everyone always wants to go back. But you reach an age where you're like, if you do that, you're fucked. So you just have to keep going forward. You know what I mean? Like if you run down a really steep hill, like the option isn't like to stop. You just got to like, hey, you better have some fancy footwork and keep going.
Yeah.
It's forward momentum at all times. Skateboarding's like that. I mean, I don't skateboard, but I see my kids.
Yeah. I've never skateboarded either, to be honest. I guess I was just always a contact athlete, like if it was no contact, like, bike riding and stuff like that, it kind of just never appealed to me,
Yeah. Will you hold on 1 second?
No problem.
That's the sound of a 360-degree barbell brush by Hybrid Athletics.
I always forget to do the sponsors, and someone in the comments said, what about sponsors? Also, everyone should buy their coffee from Paper Street Coffee. Use code word Sevan, get 10% off. I don't know how he affords to do that. That's the only coffee I drink. Beans are beautiful. And remember, this is the biggest podcast in the space by far. And how come we don't have the biggest sponsors? Because they're scared. They're scaredy. They're scared. Oh, they're scared. And if you want to know about your hormones, go to California Hormones. And if you need a job, go to barbelljobs.com. Nick, you're what city are you in?
New Jersey, Lodi, New Jersey.
God, it's so perfect, isn't it?
Probably like I can get to Times Square in about 25 minutes driving, no traffic.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
right over the George Washington.
There's this other cat that I have on the podcast frequently. Well, I don't know. I've had him on, I think, 3 times. His name is Nicky Rodriguez. Do you know him? He's from Jersey.
No.
Oh,
But
okay.
just before I forget, I think that Paper Street Coffee guy, because I was watching your podcast a couple days ago. I think he's from Jersey.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I was wondering where he's from.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
I could see it in him.
It's a great story because he said, hey, I want to sponsor your podcast. And I'm like, hey, I already drink another coffee. And he's like, I don't care. You can talk shit about my coffee. I just want to support your podcast because I know this shit ain't cheap or free. And he's like, I just want to have your shit keep going. I was like, wow, that was really cool. It was either super manipulative or super cool, but either way it worked. I grabbed my ankles and I switched coffees.
See, that reminds me. So, you're more mature than me, but I truly believe that all things will come in time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the sponsors will fall into place, the right ones. You know what I'm saying? Just with time.
Are you crazy hard worker?
Yes. Yeah. I got that from my dad. Just seeing him just be away all day. I mean, that's like when I started. So I went to a Catholic high school, and I went there freshman year, sophomore year, and then I somehow convinced my parents. I was like, hey, let me homeschool so I could just work out all day long.
Okay.
So from like 16 years old to about 18, 19 until I got injured, I was in the gym for say 6-7 hours a day.
Damn.
Yeah, and that was, and I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I won the CrossFit Games in 16 and 17. I had a feeling that probably in the world I probably had an argument for hardest, I would say hardest working 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old when I made it to my first regionals, you know,
Meaning
just
that,
because of how hard CrossFit is.
right? Meaning you kept a disciplined regiment that was so difficult, you'd be fucking hard pressed to believe that someone else was,
Yeah, just so
that any other kid was working harder than you. I mean, I
100%,
wasn't. I
yeah.
was at Taco Bell and chasing girls, and I definitely wasn't more
You,
hardworking.
you see, that's the thing, Sevan. I was at McDonald's. Like I would enjoy myself outside the gym, but I would make sure that I would live at the gym. So
Yeah.
8, 9 hours. I would get there, say 10 a.m. I would leave at say 7 p.m. And I got this from watching the Rich documentaries and whatnot that you recorded, and probably say 16 and a half, I was like, I want to be rich. I want to
Yeah.
work out all day long. My dad has a Camaro Z28. That's his first car.
Oh
And
my
he had it
goodness.
parked in the garage. And I told my mom, I was like, can you convince him to like pull it out of there so I could turn our garage into a gym? So like right from the get-go, all I wanted to pretty much do was work hard.
Okay. Loves mom too much. Lives in New Jersey.
Mama's boy. I mean, I get made fun of, but
50-foot dog leash. Camaro in garage. Hold on, I want to see what ethnicity you are. Punch all of these into my super racist device. You're Italian.
Italia.
Italian. I knew it.
My
See,
mom.
you can use prejudice. It's weird. You can. It's okay. You can. You like guess. I'm Middle Eastern, and my dad came here and opened a liquor store. Go figure. And he worked his ass off and saved his money. Weird, right? That a Middle Eastern guy would do that. Racist. It's the truth, man.
That's like my grandpa.
Truth. Yeah.
My grandpa, he took a boat over here when he was say 15 over here from Italy.
Okay, Italian man on a boat at 15.
Yeah. I want to say maybe.
Did he have a big old loaf of bread? Did he have like a giant baguette on his shoulder and a fucked up hat like the one I'm wearing?
No, I got to be honest. I think it was shit. Like on the boat, I think it was just like compact, and I think a bunch of people just like
vomiting and puking. Yes.
Oh, probably seasick.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
yes,
with the
yes.
currents and stuff like that. Absolutely. I think he said the Santa Maria, maybe. I don't know. One of those ships.
Hey, will you pull that? Are you laughing, Caleb? Is the Santa Maria like? Is that like with one of the Mayflower ships? Like Nick showing off, and I don't get it. What are you laughing at, Caleb?
Yeah, I could be wrong, and that could be from Step Brothers. But
okay. Hey, I'm reading Aristotle Onassis's biography right now by a guy named Frank Brady. Yeah, I'm showing off a little. Anyway, and he's a Greek dude, right? And he talks about his journey on boat, probably before your grandfather's. His was more like at the early 1900s. But he said he was in the bottom of the boat with 1,000 other dudes, and everyone just pissed and shit and vomited, and everything just happened in this one spot. He said it was the most disgusting fucking month of his life.
I couldn't imagine living in prehistoric, times like that. Just not prehistoric, but it feels like that. Even though it was probably what 3 generations ago, or what 4 generations ago.
And now motherfuckers are afraid to go on a cruise ship because they might get COVID. Like, are you kidding me? I'd fucking drink 10 gallons of COVID. I'd give myself a COVID enema before I'd want to be on one of those ships fucking sailing over the Atlantic in 1904.
It does matter what state you're in though. I lived in Tennessee for 4 years. Nobody had a mask. Every gas station, Walmart, every grocery store in the heart of COVID, nobody was wearing masks.
Wait, in Jersey?
No, Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
Yeah, so I was just saying it kind of depends on the state. You know what I'm saying? But in Jersey, oh my God, masked up anywhere. If you don't go somewhere with a mask, you look like an alien.
Yeah.
But,
so it's like that where I live too.
Yeah.
I didn't play around though. I went to war. Hey, so I I went to war because I do CrossFit and I eat well. I don't fucking eat Doritos. I don't drink Mountain Dew. Hey, how come you're not like all fat and fucked up if you play video games? And you don't even look like a stoner.
Yeah, I kind of just I I kind of just lost my appetite whenever I train hard, you know, whatever 4 or 5, 6 hours a day, I'm eating constant meals, 3, 4 a day. Now that I'm kind of just sitting, chilling, I go on runs a few times a week and I keep up with the weights here and there. But yeah, I just eat like once a day, maybe twice. I say I do intermittent fasting, but I kind of swap whenever I eat and stuff. But
Yeah.
it does keep me thin and stuff. And you know, I don't want to be a fat slob and you know, and that leads to other stuff. And you know,
Yeah. It's
also
incredible.
also I'm only 23 years old, so I don't want to
Yeah,
close
that's right.
I don't want to close my window to
Yeah.
get back into CrossFit because I was thinking about
What?
it.
What? Really?
Well,
You would make another run?
oh, I mean, so I was thinking about it yesterday. I mean, who cares whether you win the CrossFit Games at 25, at 26, at 28, at 29? I mean, as long as you get one title, and that's what I would be chasing. You know, just like I was chasing for the 6, 7 years that I was competing. But I mean, I was thinking about it. It would probably take me 5 to 6 months to get me back into competing shape, and then
Holy shit.
probably in a year, I know that I can get back to where I need to be competing. You know, personally, I feel like the field has died down a little bit, the competition, you know, like compared to, I guess, whenever Matt was there. And
Oh, you're a savage, dude. Ah.
I mean, I'm just being honest, you know. I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first on the Sevan podcast. Nick Paladino says the men have gotten soft in the CrossFit Games field, and he's thinking about coming back. And hey, that'd be cool to see you with the Panchik brothers.
yeah, no, I mean, I would love
Mixing that
to.
shit up.
And the only reason I say that is because, you know, I was next to Matt Fraser, Rich, and Hobart, Austin Maliolo.
Yeah,
17
man.
years old, 18 years old, and I was competing with these guys. Like they weren't washing me away. And you know, Matt would tell me, like, you know, the potential that you have in the sport is, you know, is pretty exceptional. And so I kind of knew what I had.
Well, whether you're delusional or not, and I'm not suggesting you are, the hardest part to get is the belief, and you got that. That's, I mean, right? It's like,
Yeah, I
got
mean,
that.
no
champion UFC fighters like, well, I'm not sure if I can do it. You know, like you never see any doubt from Rich.
Yeah, no. I mean, and I pretty much whatever I dive into, I have no doubt. Like I heard you say that I was supposed to be the heir to Matt Fraser, you know, and that reminded me of an interview I did when I was 17. Some lady, I can't remember, some CrossFit lady came out to me and was like, well, eventually the question was like, you know, what was her goals? And then I said just to win more titles than Rich did. And like that was just my mindset from 17.
So good. You're born in Jersey?
Yeah.
Is your grandpa still alive?
Yes, and my grandma.
Yeah.
I'm my dad's side.
And you guys still do people hang together? Like people still come over for dinner, and you got a pretty close family, or
that slowed down a lot. We used to have big family, you know, uncles, aunts, and snap, but now it's usually just immediate family. Sometimes, you know, my Aunt Angie hops over and this and that.
Because just you got older, or because of COVID, people turned into pussies?
I would probably say both, to be honest. Like it was happening while we got older, and then COVID kind of just put a bullet into it, you know?
Yeah.
Which is tough, but you know, I guess it is what it is. I guess, you know, I don't want to be a pussy, but like I also don't want to hand over COVID to my grandmother. You know, like that's the line. I feel like, you know, and my grandma isn't really, I feel like, that health aware.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I have that responsibility to try not to kind of give it to her and stuff. But that doesn't mean that I kind of didn't see my grandmother for years. I still went to go see her and stuff like that. So
You still kiss her?
now I do. Now that they have the vaccine.
I was so sick for like 3 days this week, and I saw my dad. I told my dad like not to come over because he got not because I'm scared. Like I don't think I have a little different mindset than you. I think that like if you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. I don't think there's any like. I don't think Nick Paladino's giving it to his grandma. I don't think he's giving. I just don't believe it's working like that. But I didn't kiss my dad when he came over yesterday, which is weird because usually if I see him, you know, I only see him like once or twice a week, and I will run over to him and grab him.
Yeah.
So sometimes I try to even be more affectionate with them just so my kids will see it. So when they get old, they'll be like, oh, that's how you're supposed to treat. Because you know what I mean? I want them always to run over and give me a big hug.
That's how I was raised. Every time I get off the phone with my dad and my mom, I say love you. And then every time I go see my parent, like my mom or dad throughout the day, every time I like leave to go back to my room, I always say love you.
Yeah.
It's kind of just something that we've kind of just, I guess, a habit over time.
I don't let my boys leave the house without kissing their mom. So like I'll be like, yo, we're going to the tennis courts, let's go. And they'll jump in the van. I'm like, did you guys kiss your mom? They're like, oops. And then they you know what I mean? They jump out and run back in the house and kiss her goodbye. I mean, shit, she made them. It's the least they could do.
But you don't make them say love you?
Oh, all that. Yeah.
Oh,
that too. But yeah.
But the kiss, you want the kiss as well on the cheek.
Yeah, mom always should get some physical affection.
Gotcha.
Plus, I think she thinks that every time I leave the house with them, it could be the last time she sees them. She thinks we're gonna get into some sort of shit.
I mean, you guys are just skateboarding and doing some UFC and some sporting shit.
Yes, I think she thinks we're gonna get arrested.
Hey, crazy shit could always happen.
So you're born in Jersey, and it sounds like a typical story. You come from you're second generation hardcore immigrants. People just know how to work and grind, and everyone takes care of their own. And then at 16, you decide that you want to homeschool so that you could dedicate yourself to sport. Had you ever shown that commitment to anything before in your life? Was that the first thing? Did you ever have a paper route or anything crazy where you're like, this is gonna be the biggest paper route in Jersey? Or
so I just played a bunch of sports. I did wrestling, I did baseball, and then I did football. And then I actually did basketball too. Wow, I actually had a nice jumper. So I was just that guy that was just doing everything. You know what I'm saying? Just occupied. So it was either sports or video games. Just because I was a loner, I would hang out with friends maybe twice a month, 3 times a month, and stuff like that. Whenever they would get me out of the house. But and then when I look at that, I don't know how. Maybe
holy shit, you used to be a girl.
I do look like I'm wearing lipstick, right?
Yeah. He looks like James Hobart in the Fake Sevan podcast, doesn't he? In the Instagram account. Wow. It's amazing what a little facial hair can do.
Yeah, people tell me I look 30 now. They used to call me pretty boy because I used to gel my hair right before games. Like my hair used to be just thick.
Excuse me real quick. Sevan, a big movement to not force kids to do something they don't want to do, like hugging grandma. My body, my choice. Right. Go fuck yourself. No, I know you're joking, Jake. Force my kids. I fucking force them to do everything, and they love it. And they really do. I should do a whole show on that. If you do not have really strict boundaries for your kids, if you are a progressive parent, if you believe in exploring every idea and thought your kids have, you will have fucked up, manic, mentally fucked up kids. Kids need crazy strict boundaries to be free. And when your kid says shit, ignore 95% of the shit they say. Don't react to your kids. Support them, but don't react. You're not their friend. You're their parent. There he is. Look at. I thought that was James Hobart. That's Nick Paladino. Look at Hobart in this photo is 50% through transition right there. He's on the hormone blockers are working. Hobart. My goodness. Someone, what's so cool, Nick, is someone made this account like making fun of us. Oh shit. Nick's up there. Click that. How come Nick looks like a dude? How come the rest of us look like we're 10% through transition and Nick looks like a dude?
That's actually not a bad picture at all. Jeez.
Oh, not to be confused with Paul Saladino. Burning questions for the guys. How does it feel to go from being an absolute top of the game with peak physical Nike deals, training with Fraser, pulling in chicks, to now just being a dude who plays video games in his mom's basement?
Mom's garage, by the way. But
yeah, and he's got a heater in there, so fuck you.
2 heaters. Got to stay warm. It gets freezing over here in the winter. Freezing.
I was getting kicked in and out of my mom's house until I was 34.
Have you ever
been kicked out? Have you ever been kicked out?
No, but I chose to leave. So at 17, just because of opportunities. But yeah, I forgot my point.
Did you go to Cookville at 17?
Yeah, so that was so right before that, I was at Reebok HQ. Me and Angelo, we actually visited there for a little bit, and then I decided to stay there for a while, and then I did in Canton, Massachusetts, and I did some training with Austin Malleolo was there, James Hobart, Connor Murphy was there.
Wow. What year was that?
That was like 16 going into 17 because we also did I don't know if you ever heard of it, but Proving Grounds. So that was
Yeah,
when
yeah.
so that was when Reebok would I guess send out invites to just athletes that made it.
Yeah.
So we did that there. I didn't make the games as an individual that year, but I was just training with the group, so they let me get in on it. But that was an awesome experience. And then
What was your
shortly,
hole? What was your hole?
like weakness,
Yeah.
um, I would say probably body weight stuff, like muscle ups, push ups, strict pull ups, stuff like that. Like my max.
How about handstand walking?
No, I actually got really good at handstand walking, handstand push ups. I got really good at running actually because I worked with Hinshaw because I think Hinshaw moved to Cookville 2018 or 2019, shortly after I got there. So he was like training me, Rich, Matt, Fraser was there, Angelo. We had Dre Strom was there. We had the group was completely different.
Dre
Back,
Strome's the camera dude, right? Who turned super
yeah,
fit camera dude.
Yep. Me and him, we would go at it every time. Like the open, me and him would verse each other. We always had out for each other.
Crazy. Okay, so you were always playing sports as a young man. You started early. It sounded like you were pretty independent because your parents were working, right? So you would do all the shit yourself, go after school. You looked after yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. It was kind of just like up to me. My mom was just like, do what you want to do and this and that. And thankfully I kind of steered it the right way, I would say. Like I said, I was playing football and then I decided to go to a Catholic school for freshman year
Because of sports?
because of sports. Yeah, the Catholic sports are just known in North Jersey, are
Yep.
just high
Same with
level.
California. Yep.
Yep. So we did that, and then shortly after my freshman year, I kind of just fell out of love with it. Kind of just got tired of it. Kind of just got interested in working out, and then I found CrossFit on. I want to say it was YouTube. I want to say, like I said, I was watching some of your interviews when you were with Rich at Averett in Cookville, and Darren was there, and they were doing the muscle up with the wall ball. And
Oh
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
just
yeah. We were in like some sort of corporate gym,
yep,
and they
Averett.
made that shit up right there on the fly. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I lived on those videos. I mean, those were so I was 16 and that was 2015-ish. So I just lived on all those videos. And then eventually I somehow convinced my mom to let me homeschool. I kind of showed her like, hey, I'm gonna get a degree or I'm gonna get a diploma. Like I'm gonna get the paper. I'm gonna take tests. Don't worry about it. And then she was like, all right, but you better be at the gym all day.
Hey,
So
aren't you scared at 16 to do that? Aren't you like, what am I doing? Like, it just seems like such a big decision. Like for me at 16, I was like, okay, I'm going to get a new car stereo for my car. I'm going to cut class first period. I'm going to go to Taco Bell. I'm going to try to bring a bottle of Goldschlager to school. I'm
well, so it like sophomore year I stopped
how
playing.
did you have goals like that?
So sophomore year I stopped playing football, right? And I would just sleep in class.
Why? Why did you stop?
So they were looking to put me at a position that I didn't want to play, fullback,
Okay.
but I wanted to play running back. I wanted the ball.
So
But
you already knew what you wanted.
yeah, I
Like,
wanted the ball in my hands. I wanted to be that
yes.
guy. I wanted to be the guy
And you are
who
that guy. You're the guy who knows what he wants.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, exactly. But then I guess whenever I saw that they didn't want to give me what I wanted sophomore year, I guess I was just like, fuck this, I'm out, you know. But I found the CrossFit, so I think I had a little bit of a safety net, you know. But I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, you know. I just was doing the open, and me and my buddy would kind of just bullshit a little bit. But then whenever the CrossFit games came out, that's when I homeschooled and I was just in the gym and would just lift maximal weight and just would go nuts. Just kind of like any 16 or 17-year-old would just know just kind of no awareness. You know what I'm saying? Just a wild, but it was fun times, though.
you had a naive braveness, which is awesome.
I did. So
You're just like, fuck it.
So going into my first CrossFit gym, I was Googling CrossFit gyms around the area in school because we had to buy laptops. So in class, we would be on our laptops. And I remember my anxiety was killing me. I was like, man, I got to go shake people's hands. I got to go meet new people. I'm 15 years old. Who the fuck wants to do this? But I finally just told myself, shut the fuck up and go. So I had my babysitter after school drive me there and drop me off. And they were like, "Oh, hey, sir, just sign the waiver." And I was like, well, I'm only 15. Am I able to? And they were like, and so I had to get like a parent to come over and actually sign the waiver so I could do my first ever CrossFit workout. And I still remember what the CrossFit workout was. I think it was deadlifts, it was running, and I want to say it was handstand push-ups. So it was kind of easier. It was an easier transition than what it could have been. It could have been, I guess, pull-ups. It could have been other stuff, but
Are you still close with Angelo?
yeah, we text, we FaceTime, we still talk a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a trip, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
He's pretty fucking cool. I've been doing some podcasts with him, and I can't believe how much he's easy. He's so easy.
Yeah, I love to watch it because I love to see him kind of get out of his shell and kind of do new things like podcasting and stuff like that. Because I've been pushing him a little bit. I'm like, dude, like let's make some like unfiltered, like young version of a CrossFit lifestyle podcast. I think it would do well. I think people might want to listen, but
yeah, people like looking at him. That's for sure. A lot of girls DMing me. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Go DM this fool. But he's easy. The hardest part about podcasting, and part of it's, I'm sure, kind of easy with me because my fucking mouth just goes, but is just being comfortable chilling. And he's so comfortable chilling. And then he always comes in with a great at mayhem, and then we all stop and listen. We're like, yeah, tell us, Angelo.
Yeah. I mean, he grew up there. He knows. He's been there before I was, and he's still there now, and he's back on the team, which is amazing to see. He I don't know if he's ever told you, but he actually took a little break from CrossFit. I would say 18 or 19.
He hurt his back, right?
Yeah. He hurt his back really, really bad.
And then that patch of gray hair came in.
He always had that since I met him on his elbows, on his knees. But I've just learned, oh, that's Angelo.
He got gray hair on his elbows and his knees?
No, not gray hair, just like white spots.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Okay. There was this basketball player I remember when I was a kid we used to watch, famous, I can't remember, but he always had that gray spot. And then the only other person I ever knew who had it was Angelo. Did he get rid of it? I don't even see it anymore.
That's a good question, actually. I mean, I haven't seen him in person for a year. The last time I saw him was last March.
Yeah, I'll ask him. I'm gonna see him in a couple of days. But he's game. He's game. Yeah. He was actually, I tried to get him on the podcast last night, and he's like, hey, I'm saving myself for our next podcast. My voice is fucked up. I was like, damn.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy to talk to. I mean, we've done so much stuff together. We've had so many talks. We've had so many experiences at Mayhem. I mean, he's my brother, to be honest. So,
so you start doing CrossFit and you start going hard, and you get notoriety. And what happens? Why do you split? Why do you switch to video games?
So at 18, 19, I would say, right after, like the year after I got to regionals, I was competing in the open, and both of my shoulders, it just felt like knives were going through them, and both of my hips were just ruined. I couldn't really put my sock on the right way without pain, and I was kind of just ignoring it. I was like, fuck it, you're young, just keep pushing and this and that. And at 19, I failed to make regionals, which was weird because I made it the year before, my first year in the adult competition. And I was actually at Hobart's gym, Reebok 1, I want to say, if I remember correctly. And I just remember just bawling my eyes out and just being like, I really can't do anymore. Like, I can't move on until I fix my body. So I ended up meeting the stem cell guy that actually worked on some people at Mayhem and injected stem cell and this and that. And I did that. I got stem cell on both my shoulders, both of my hips, and then did 6 to 8 months of hard physical therapy. And I would say I got back to myself. I would say, 90-95%. I was actually like, damn, Nick, like, all right, now we're ready to take over, go on, move on to the adult journey. And then, yep, there's the physical therapy guys.
Oh, and you got thick there. Look at you.
Yeah, I probably put on a little weight. That's yeah. Yeah. And then I did a sanctional event, the Italian Showdown. After I rehabbed, I went and I was training with Tia, Shane, and Matt Fraser in Mayhem. And working with Shane, it was just nice to get a different feel of programming, because I'm sure Rich's programming is just, dick in the dirt, show up tomorrow, do it again, every single day. And Shane's program is more, structured out, more resting, and it was just refreshing. So I made it to the Italian Showdown, and I ended up placing 15th out of 100, and I think sixth place qualified that year, because I don't know if you remember, but that
I
was
don't.
like, if people already qualified previously from the open, if they compete in a sanctional, the next person goes. So like, I guess
Oh,
eventually it just crept up to, like, I guess, sixth or seventh place. So, I mean, I was happy. I was like, well, I left the part out. The shoulder pain kind of crept back a little bit on my left shoulder. So we were kind of looking what to do, and I was like, fuck it, just shoot a cortisol shot, and we'll go from there. And that actually helped a lot for 4 or 5 months. I was like, oh my God, I'm healed. Like, thank God.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh my, and then just right at the competition, right, the Italian Showdown, that's when the pain started to come back. And after, I really wish I didn't do it, but I ended up getting a shoulder surgery, and that just mentally ruined me. And I was never really able to bounce back. I was never really able to get back to myself, like the standard that I was acceptable with in the gym.
What do you mean standard in terms of strength,
Just
flexibility, or commitment, or what?
uh Actually, at the end there, about a year ago, a year and a half ago, it was everything. It was my strength wasn't there. I was kind of like, when is it time to get out of the gym, rather than, what are we going to do in the gym? And then it was kind of just hurting me more than I was enjoying it. And I'm always looking for new things like that. When I was younger, I liked to play baseball, wrestle, football. So I guess that's where the video games tie in. When you're hurt all the fucking time and you're just down and out, you have a lot of free time. So I would just play just a massive amounts of video games. And I don't know how familiar you are with Twitch, but there's this platform that you can play your video game, but you also put like something like this, like a face cam, I would say, on the top right. And you just, entertain, you interact, you connect with the people that come in the chat. And I was watching that. I started watching Twitch, I would say, about 3 years ago. And I'm the type of person, whenever I see something, I ask myself, I wonder if I could do that, and how good can I do that? And I really enjoy interacting with people and kind of talking and this and that. So I just gave it a stab. I started my channel 6 months ago, and I kind of just dove in, and it's been honestly pretty good.
So it's basically YouTube, but for video games.
Yeah, exactly. But
Like this show is on Twitch right now.
you guys also have a Twitch channel as well?
Yeah, we go to Twitch and Facebook, but no one watches there.
Yeah, so that's
And we used to go to Twitter, but they kicked us off or something. I don't know why we don't go there anymore.
Twitter. Yeah, Twitch is interesting. Twitch, in my opinion, is a community of its own. I mean, I don't have that many Instagram followers. I think
Is
I
that
have,
you right there? Oh, that is you.
yeah, that is me. Yeah, that was actually today. That was 7
Okay,
hours
so
ago.
right here you're loading up a game, and you just got you're live there, and
Yep.
you're basically telling people, okay, guys, I'm about to start this game. Welcome to my show. All the hot chicks, please send me your phone number. All the dudes say cool shit about me. I'm watching me fuck this dude up. And if anyone wants to jump in and take an ass whooping, I'm doing 2-player games in about 30 minutes.
Something like that, but just like on YouTube, there's a chat box. So to be honest, like different from YouTube, my whole like reactions and my entertainment usually comes from the chat a lot. Like answering the chat, like giving them recommendations, like answering questions and kind of just like interacting with them almost.
Okay, and they're typing or they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
talking. Okay,
No,
so you have to
they're
read
typing.
and play at the same time.
Well, yeah. So, but right here, so I'm playing a soccer game. I mean, I'm wearing some soccer gear right now. You can tell. But so the soccer game, it's kind of weird. The actual game itself is pretty horrendous. Like nobody likes playing it. Like honestly, like it's rigged. Like people feel like before the game starts, the game puts a predetermined winner. So
Okay.
no matter what you do in the game, like the ball is gonna bounce back to the other opponent, and he's gonna score on you and shit. So a lot of the time I spend like opening packs and trying to get like really good players that I guess would be exciting to get.
What does that mean?
And
Opening up packs.
so exactly what I'm doing right here. They have all different packs in the game, and that's
Do,
kind of
do you have to
that.
pay for those, like with real money?
Yeah, exactly. So that's how they make their money. The soccer game right there. They
Okay.
I heard that they make the most money off like additional buy-ins, like additional like on the Xbox, like buying stuff like out of any games. I want to say like a couple billion a year from this game mode that I live stream.
What's the name of this game?
FIFA 22. Like
FIFA 22.
it's another word for soccer, like FIFA Federation.
Caleb, can you I like the way Nick talks to me like I'm a retard, because I am a retard. I don't know any of this stuff. I'll talk to military guys and they're using just acronyms left, right, and center. I'm like, how the fuck would I know that? But
Well,
you're like, you explain to me what FIFA is. Caleb, can you look up to see how much money that game makes?
I feel like
Oh shit, I got rid of the wrong dude.
oh,
There you go.
I feel like Caleb would know maybe more about Twitch, but I just feel like I could be wrong. But the age demographic with Twitch is more like
I think you're right.
14 to 13 years old, I would say, to about 30.
Yeah, even the people who watch this show, like when I look at my stats, it's like there's no one, like it's just a bunch of young dudes watching an old fucker like podcast. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Go chase girls. You
I
shouldn't be watching
mean,
this show.
that's all our generation does. I mean, I'm almost positive that our generation doesn't watch TV anymore. Like I don't have cable. It's just all of my
Oh
entertainment.
my goodness.
How much?
It's 2.5 billion.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
The third quarter was 1.7 billion.
yeah. So
And that's kids spending their fucking parents' money buying imaginary soccer players. Dude, I'm telling you.
soccer player.
I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you
I like
something. Oh my God, I have the greatest kids in the world. If you have kids and you're in California, I will let your kids play with my kids for $500 an hour. And they'll bring a light. My kids are like all little baby Jesuses, even though they're Jew boys. I'm telling you. Fuck. I met this kid the other day. He's a 15-year-old kid. He's the greatest tennis player in the area, right? He's
Okay.
dope. He's dope. And my kid plays tennis with him now on Sundays. It's crazy. And my kid's only 7. And of course, Nick, I put a weight vest on him when he plays. 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Unheard of. I ask all these other pro soccer or tennis coaches, you ever do that? They're like, no, why would we do that? I'm like, cause CrossFit tennis, motherfucker. Anyway. And so I meet this 15-year-old kid's dad, and I'm like, hey, how's your kid so cool? Kid's like mature, stands upright, shakes hand, a little shy like a 15-year-old, but cool as shit. And he goes, well, he didn't get a cell phone until last week. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I'm not giving my kid, like, there's Avi. Look at him. Normally I make him play barefoot too. In training, he plays barefoot and with a weight vest. Stud.
I like that.
Yeah. It's gotta be. Life's hard, right? Make life hard. And he loves it. He thinks, and he loves it. And you know what he knows? He knows he gets attention for that. So on that tennis court where we're playing, there's all these old people, because this is during the day at a public tennis court, and they see him and they just just imagine like these 70 and 80-year-old people coming up to the chain link fence to watch this little 7-year-old play. So he's already just absorbing it. And he's so polite. He says hi to him and smiles at him and shakes their hand. And
I like it. You're giving them no chance. They're going to be savages. I like that. Why leave it up to chance? You only have
right.
kids. You only have so many kids, right?
And when we drive by elementary schools, I stop, and they're all fenced in and shit. And there's kids. I'm like, you want to hang with me, or you want to go in there? Go in the fucking cage. To kids, they're like, we'll hang with you. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought.
It used to be cool though in the schoolyards, like,
I agree. I
15
had
years
fun.
ago. We played soccer, we were running around, we were playing basketball. I was grinding up on, little girls my age. It was just a good time.
The good old days.
The
Yeah.
good old days, exactly.
Yeah. 8th grade, teacher brings a banana to class and explains to you how condoms work.
I missed that class, but
My dad will be me and my dad got into it the other day. He's like, what's your problem with sex education? I'm like, I don't have a problem with sex education. The penis and the vagina should be talked about in terms of reproduction. No 5-year-old should be told he can cut his penis off. Fucking
yeah.
idiots.
Yeah, guys. But but yeah, I mean,
So you
I had a point.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I had a point, but I forgot. You can go.
So you basically you get injured and you step away. Is there an official step away from CrossFit? And was that hard? Was there one day where you sat down and you're like, done?
Yeah, so I was doing the open last year, and it was the first workout. It was wall walks. And,
Wait, last year?
Yeah, last year.
No, you've been out longer than that.
No. Last year,
Oh?
I competed. I did the first workout of the open.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
In Nashville, Tennessee, with Tia, Shane, Brooke Wells. I think.
God, Nick, I feel like you've been gone for like 3 years. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be honest. The hype has kind of died out, I would say.
Okay.
I feel like everybody was like waiting to see what I would do, and then injuries and time passing. So I feel like maybe the hype just kind of died a little bit.
Okay.
So.
And I only stay on the tip of the spear. I only stay on the hype for shit that will push my numbers. So if you weren't on the tip of the spear, you had to.
No, and I don't blame you. I mean, you only got so much time in the day,
Right.
But,
okay. So you do the open last year, and
I only did the first workout, and I did horrendous. I was just sweating all over the place. I was slipping. Tia was trying to steal the towel away from me, and I was like, don't steal it away. Like, I'm sweating my balls off. Like, what are you doing? But and then after that, I kind of was like, all right, Nick, you did horrendous. You've been thinking about kind of getting out and starting new ventures for a while. Maybe this was the time. Let me just and again, I cried like a little bitch, and I called my mom, and I was like, this needs to stop. Like, I've been kind of faking it. Like, I've been done probably for 5 to 6 months now. I've been kind of just forcing it and kind of, but moving on was one of the best things, because it's true. People say like time heals all.
Yeah,
that is true. Once you find something else to occupy your time and something to chase, it really does help.
And then so you fired up the Twitch account.
Yeah, so I fired up the Twitch account. I kind of said, fuck it. I was.
Did you play? Did you know? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. It's better when you ask questions. It kind of steers me.
Oh, so you fire up a Twitch account, and a lot of people would be like, hey, I'm not going to do that until I'm good. But does it matter in Twitch? Like, could I just go in there and like, as long as I have personality and like, is it driven by the best people? Is it driven by the ones with the most personality? Is it driven by people who are the most real, the most fake? Like, look at those guys on Instagram. Who are those guys, Caleb? Those guys who are like, I'm a soldier boy. I got the bling, bling, ding, 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 ding. I got the boom, boom, boom. Like, I have to assume that there's no one out there who thinks they're cool. But I follow them because I just want to know what's going on with pop culture. I'm like, wow, what? Yeah, these guys. I did the ding ding, ga boom 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 boom, ga ga goon goon. Yeah, click on one of their things. Let's just get a little bit of see how accurate I am.
Now these guys are just, I would say, just rappers of this generation. Like,
you think those guys are? Wait, you think those guys are rappers? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm almost positive that these guys are rappers. I'm pretty sure they make music.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I want to say they call themselves the Island Boys. Yeah, right here.
Yes, the Island Boys. What did I call them?
The
Soldier Boys, the Island Boys.
Yeah,
yes, the Island Boys. Yes.
Boys. Yeah, I'm almost positive they make music. Yeah.
Wow, I never even knew that.
They make dog shit music, but nowadays, there's an audience for every for all kinds of music. So, you know, if you
I just
do,
thought that somehow that their parents were really rich and died, and they're just burning through it as fast as they can, and they're just being funny. Like some part of me thinks that their tattoos might not even be real.
yeah, it could be that. You know, the thing is though, we're never gonna know that backstory. You know, like they're never gonna release the true
I invited them on the podcast.
where Insta DM.
Yeah, in the DMs. I mean, I had the Liver King on. All is possible.
Yep.
All is possible.
And I don't know if you know this, but one of my friends that used to play at the University of Tennessee, if you have the check mark on your Instagram account,
Yeah.
your message doesn't go to requests. It goes to like a special like section where I guess everybody sees it.
Oh, good.
That's what I was told.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I can post something and I will only get like 500 views, even though I have like 90,000 followers, because I'm so shadow banned. But that is the thing. That's the whole reason I have an Instagram account, so I can get into people's DMs and invite them onto the podcast.
That's probably
people get excited when they see a blue check mark. I get excited.
Yeah. No, I tried to get a blue check mark, but they declined me. Rightfully so. I mean, it was only the teenage division. But.
So you should have, dude. There's goofballs. How does Josh Bridges not have a blue check mark?
Really? I mean, if
not even Good Dude's Coffee has a blue check mark, it's bizarre to me. Navy SEAL, one of the best top 10 best CrossFitters ever to fucking play in the game, and he can't get a blue check mark. Hey, you know what that says though? That says that CrossFit's not doing their fucking job. The worst UFC fighters get blue check marks. That's what they do. Yeah. They just get them for them.
Oh,
I mean, look at that.
I mean, I wonder if he knows.
Maybe the coolest dude in the game. Sorry, go ahead.
You could actually put in for verification. Like you could actually put in, like there's on the settings, you could request a check mark.
Yeah.
I would definitely tell him, because I would have to imagine he hasn't. Because I mean, they look up a couple videos of him and they're gonna be like, oh, sponsored by Nike, professional athlete.
Right.
I would give him the check mark.
Right. But maybe someone over there just hates him because he was in the military.
Could be. Oh, that reminds me. Somebody commented on my Instagram post and they were like, from CrossFit Games or Teenage Champion to gamer. And then I wrote something like, you look like shit or you look like dog shit. Mm-hmm. And then Instagram was like, we did not post this. It's like harmful content. And I was like, what? So I had to like rephrase it to where like it was nice enough, but I could still get a dig at the guy. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of weird. That was like my first ever problem with Instagram. And I've been on it for, I would say 8-9 years. Oh, yeah.
That's a great picture. It happens to me. It happens to me every day. Nick, I posted a video of myself doing 50 burpees for time, and my wife posted on there, I'm gonna go beat your score right now, your time now. And Instagram pulled down. They sent her, we pulled down your post because of violent threatening violence. I'm gonna beat your score.
Yeah. So I heard that.
Hey, dude, and Elon's gonna buy. Anyone who thinks, oh God, I'm about to go off. Okay, go ahead.
I heard that on your previous podcast. Yeah. I truly think they're probably just fucking with you. Like that, you're probably I would have to imagine you're in a category of like, you know, hey, we got to watch this guy. And I'm sure they're just like, hey, the word beat, get the fuck out of here, you know?
I bet you there's not one person who believes in global warming. Not one who's read a book on the science of global warming. Like the real science on it, like who's not didn't watch just Convenient Truth and Inconvenient Truth. I bet you not one. I've never met one. I talk to people about it all the time. Those things like anti-vax and global warming, those are things that just like they've become weapons to pick on people. They've just become it's kind of like someone said the other day. I was watching. I think it was. I heard the Nelk Boys. Do you know who those guys are?
Yeah. Big YouTubers. Yep. They interviewed Donald Trump. Yeah. Like a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Did you see that interview?
Yeah. So I watched it live. Yep.
Before it got. Yeah, me too. Before it got pulled down.
Yeah. They had like 100,000 live people. It was insane to watch.
How nice are those boys?
Like
actually, those are nice boys. Like those. Well, they come across like nice boys. They're not like they're not dipshits.
No, I would say more fun though. They're
fun.
They're just chasing a good time every day. But that what does really well on YouTube, having a good ass fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Giving away a Lamborghini.
Yeah,
Giving
but
somebody a
that's
house.
different. That's a different so before them there was people like the Logan brothers. There's a little bit. There's like some hostility there. Dan Blazarian. It's just all pussy and drugs. But these guys are like the Nelk boys are like you'd have them over. Like I'd let my kids could hang out with them.
By the way, before I forget this, so you had
Yeah.
Elliot Hulse on the
Oh
podcast.
God, I love him.
This will tell you how much I've been on YouTube. I
Yeah.
used to watch him, and I bought a strength camp, like skinny. He had like a tee, like a guinea tee, and it was like camo, and it said strength camp. That was the name of his gym, and I
Yeah.
used to wear it to high school when I was like 14 or 15, just because I was a huge fan of his little videos that he used to put up, like, you know, how to increase your bench press 30 pounds, and then how to get legs like a friggin' buffalo, like, you know, just shit like that. So I love Elliot.
I want to come to this comment. This is exactly where I was going, Rich. It's going to be so funny. That's exactly where I was going. Caleb, can you look up the term guinea tea? I'd like to see guinea tea, please. For 500, Caleb, I'll take guinea questions on guinea tea. I fucking love it. I put my kids always wear the same outfit. They wear a wife beater and black tights, girls' tights, because that's what Barijna. A sleeveless shirt worn by bosses, a name that most retards don't recognize as another word for wife beater.
I like how you go on Urban Dictionary. It's funny.
A gangster, northern way to say wife beater or tank top. Isn't guinea like Italian? Is it derogatory for Italian?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Wow. So they're kind of stepping on the Mexicans' turf because Mexicans had that. They got the wife beater. It's a wife beater on West Coast and guinea tea on the East Coast.
I guess so. Yeah.
God, that's so good.
I guess. But my aunt actually says wife beater though. So
She
wife
does?
beater, yeah, that might be over here on the East Coast.
My aunt.
Yeah. My aunt loves to talk some shit.
Hey, can you pull up Mikhail Baryshnikov, Caleb? Mikhail Baryshnikov. He's a ballet dancer from back in the day. Anyway, Elon's going to buy. What's funny is Elon's going to buy Twitter and some things are going to go away. Like that's going to cure global warming. And it's so funny that people don't know that. Like it's going to cure so many things. He owns 9% of Twitter now. It's going to totally change everything because it's going to allow a fair and open discussion if someone owns it who doesn't censor. Let me see. Go to images. Maybe go to images and see his my mom always was into Mikhail Baryshnikov, and so like I always thought he must be the man. Let me see if there's a picture. The picture that burned in my head. Keep scrolling down. Anyway, the picture in my head is him in black tights and a wife beater, and he was always like surrounded by hot women. And he was a ballet dude that was straight. So that's how I dress my boys. And that's how I know. That's another reason how I know gender's bullshit, because that's my idea of masculine. But everyone around me, they're like, why do you put your boy in girls' tights? I'm like, because that shit's hard.
Yeah. Do they?
Because I made it up. Sorry, go ahead.
Do they ever ask to wear something of their own? Like, are they ever? No,
they do. Okay. They don't. Here's the thing. My kids live in. They do. My kids are really, really, really free. They're capable of just anything. I'll let them do whatever they want, but I keep them in such a tight loop. Do you know what I mean? So my kids would never think to dye their hair because I don't let them like peruse the internet. Or if my kids said to me, I want to dye my hair red, I would just ignore them. I wouldn't react. There's no yes or there's no. There's no like, fine, go in the fucking yard and squeeze some berries in your fucking hair. There's a fucking blueberries over there. You know what I mean? Make up your own shit. I think you're a fucking jackass if you're a parent and you let your kid dye their hair at 7. And yet my kids are so free. Other parents are like, I can't believe you swear around your kids. Fuck you. But I won't let my kids say the word disgusting. Because I think that's a moron word. Like I wouldn't let them see a spider and be like, hey, that spider's disgusting. No, that spider's actually not disgusting. It's an amazing creature with an exoskeleton that can shoot fucking webs from its ass and fucking build a web. Let's check it out. Let's use some let's see the world for what it is.
Like
it's just a trip. Parents are tards. They're on auto fucking pilot. You cannot be on autopilot. Your kid is a cobra. a king cobra. And would you ever like go on autopilot if you were trapped in a room with a cobra? No, you'd be like, well, what the fuck is this dude doing?
Yeah.
You're always on edge.
Maybe try to grab its neck. But
yeah. But you don't do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You have to stay on guard. Like my kids will be like, hey, can I have a cookie? Like I don't even say yes or no.
Yeah.
Like that. It's just a thought. I just let it pass for them.
I wonder if it was the same for you. I know that I always spoke differently.
You always what?
I always spoke differently, like at home in front of my parents. And then when I was at school with the boys.
Me too.
Oh man. Like it was, that's where I kind of learned how to like bullshit and kind of, you know, have a good time and talk through things and kind of interact on a different level, you know, just from being in this area and just being so on top of each other.
This is the podcast with Nick Paladino. I only text back my friends who have blue check marks during the show. So that's the thing. So right now I get up and do the podcast and my kids are doing schoolwork. The second I come out of here, I'm going to take them to this. We got new trucks for one of their skateboards. I'm going to take them to the skateboard shop. Then we're going to go to the skate park. Then we're going to come over and we're going to hit tennis balls. Then we're going to come home and we're going to go into the garage and we're going to work out. And by then it'll be like 1 o'clock and they'll have had their fucking fill of me and I'll have had my fill of them. And that's it. Then they're free. They go play in the yard. Like by free, I mean, they can do whatever they want. Usually they'll play music or they'll go in the yard and throw rocks or they love chalk or they do chalk, but they have their own shit they can do. And they do that shit until like 4 or 5. They have 3 hours of free time to run around the house or do whatever they want, eat, you know, they just can't watch TV. And then at 5 o'clock, it's back on again. We do some shit. We fuck around some more, but yeah, they need structure and discipline. Can't throw rocks at the side of the house. You can throw rocks that way towards the back, you know, away from the house. And if you do throw a rock at the house, I'm going to come out here and it's like someone's going to do 100 burpees.
100 burpees. Yeah.
It's like, it's pretty. The other day they were in the shower, the 3 of them. There's no fighting in the shower. Like it's 3 boys. So they fight a lot, right? Tons of punching and headlocks. So they're fighting in the shower. I turn the shower off. I hand them each a towel. I take them into the garage. I throw them each a pair of underwear, 100 burpees. Someone smarter back, 110 burpees for all you motherfuckers. They're laughing, right? The whole time. But they did it. They crushed 110. They're talking shit to me the whole time. Yeah. They got back and took their towel, took their underwear off, get the fuck back in the shower. No more punching.
Yeah.
Easy.
I like it.
Yeah, easy day. One of my friends who only has 1 kid, they brought up something really interesting to me yesterday. You can't really do that with 1 kid. Like I could be really rough on my boys because they have each other.
Yep.
It's me against them. So like, I'll be like, hey, 20 burpees for fucking punching your brother. And all 3 of them be like, well, I'll do it. Fuck you. I mean, they don't say fuck you, but you know what I mean? Like that's the impression they give me. We're sticking together. I'm like, yeah, well, you're all going to do 25 together. And then they do it and they laugh at me and run off. I'm like, so you know what I mean? But if you have 1 kid, they start crying.
Enjoy it, Sevan. Cause you know, 10 more years, they're going to be going their ways, you know?
Oh, thank you. No, the hell no. I'm keeping my kid in the basement with Twitch when they turn.
Hey, if he's entertaining, then he could definitely make a living on there.
Hey, why not do Twitch? Why not get in really good shape and just do Twitch shirtless?
So
what's the next level? Where are you going to take your Twitch? By the way, these girls are pretty. Are those your daughters? Christine McHugh. Thank you for the $5.
Look at that, $5 coming in. But so the next level, the next idea I have is I want to start some YouTube, but I don't
like live the same thing that you do on Twitch, but on YouTube.
No, so on YouTube, I kind of want to do what's similar to like what the Nelk boys do, you know, Logan Paul. Like I kind of want to do pranks. I want to do kind of like fun shit, to be honest. Like I don't know if you saw this, but the Nelk boys, they did this tow truck prank where they dressed up like, you know, tow truckers, and they were like, hey man, you know, we got to take the car, and then you know it would cause like a confrontation and this and that, and that's, you know, so I want to do like shit like that. I was thinking about maybe waxing my whole chest. That might be, and then remaking the 40-year-old virgin scene. Remember when they lady waxes his chest? So I don't want to limit myself to CrossFit, and I don't want to limit myself to the game that I play on Twitch. You know,
is that the only game you play? Just that soccer game?
So I've tried to play shooting games and I've tried to play baseball and maybe one or two other games. But for some reason, the FIFA community, the soccer community, it's just since I've started, I've built up right over 3,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
Wait, so you'll have 3,000 people? Will they all watch you at the same time?
no. So I would say on average right now, I'm averaging around 50 people.
Okay.
Like, yeah, when I'm streaming, and then I say I would hit 70 people, maybe max 90 people, and I'm almost hitting the 100 people range. But I mean, just with everything else, it's going to take time. You got to build up the community and keep going. But I do want to start the YouTube because I'm sure you do it. YouTube can be good money.
But it's so fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, but I
like it, but it's so much work, dude.
No, of course.
Like, I don't fuck around at all.
I would like to hear your take on it, Sevan, but I feel like having a CrossFit channel, it kind of puts almost like a cap on you.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I want to be free. That's why in my Instagram I just put entertainer. Like, I just want to be up to do everything just because I feel like that will let you get to the 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That'll get you above 1 million. That's when you could make a sustainable living and do, X, Y, and Z. So we don't
even do ours in the sports category.
I wouldn't.
I didn't check the sports category. I'm in such denial. But even when I was at CrossFit, I was in. It's not that I don't like CrossFit or sport. I used to watch every single 49er game and every single Raider game. And at one point I realized I'm not a football fan because if one of them didn't go to the Super Bowl, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. You could give two fucks. Yep. I was a team fan. And so it's like last night on the live stream, Patrick Vellner chimed in the comments. And I was like so flattered and tickled by that, right?
Mm-hmm. Big name.
Yeah, it's a big name. And Fikowski cracked a joke at me in there. And I'd never seen him in the comments. And that's kind of why I do it. Like, because I want to interact with these really fucking cool people. I want to interact with Nick Paladino, who has a hardcore Italian family, who really was into sports, who is kind of a weird overachiever, already planning his own homeschooling at 16, and then pivots to Twitch with confidence. Like that's I just want to know people, but I really like some people like really care about CrossFit. And like, I don't, besides the fact that like it lets my mom pick up my kids.
Yep.
Like if they're in the house, if they're at her house visiting her and the place burns, I don't have to worry about my mom. My mom can grab these fuckers and drag them outside. Whereas most 79, like I don't know if my dad can. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the number may have went down a little bit, but there's always going to be CrossFit diehards. There's always going to be people waiting for the open announcements. Documentaries that they release, this and that. That'll never go away.
Yeah, the doc. I don't mind. I don't even mind the docs because at least then you get to watch them like run. I like the slow-mo stuff. I like watching them run around naked. It was a fake Brent Fikowski. You're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart.
I guess somebody could have took the name, but on YouTube it's usually like whenever I see Rich on the in the comments, it says Rich Froning.
Yeah,
so I just assume that everybody gets their actual name.
Whenever the first time Rich commented in the comments, I fucking I was 100% certain it wasn't him, but it was him.
Too good. Yeah, too good to be true, right?
Yeah, and I just held my pillow that night and went to sleep. I purred. Hey, what of all these people you've trained with, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, Tia. It's got to be Tia.
Really? Why is that?
She was just always just wanted to see me improve and help, and she was never like judgmental. Like I remember, like I'll let a little story leak. I don't want to let too many go.
Yeah. But, no, let them all go. Let's do this.
So I don't know if
someone just texted me and said, "Is he opening up?" Yes, he's about to. Hold on, let me text him back. He is about to. Okay.
So I don't know if he's ever told you about this, but Matt and Rich, they were doing Froning and Fraser versus the world. And this
Okay.
was when I first moved to Cookville. And that was Rich and Matt did a team workout and then posted it online their time and was like, hey, if you beat us, you know, then you get whatever prize, XYZ. So that was like in the beginning. And I remember us doing jump rope. And this was kind of like in the beginning when we first, you know, Matt got in the group. We all met at the gym in the morning, and I remember us doing double unders, and we would just you know, we would always, you know, like three guys. I think Angelo was there at the time. We'd all just be messing around, you know, calling jokes. And I remember doing some double unders at the time. And then so after I won the games my second year, right before my mom said, "Hey, if you win the CrossFit games, I'll buy you a car." So you can imagine, Sevan, I was just like, holy shit, I am gonna just obliterate everybody, you know?
Yeah.
And at the time that she told me that, actually at the games, I wasn't thinking about, you know, car. But so we were doing double unders, and I remember them just saying like, "Oh, look at Nick, you know, mommy's Mercedes." Like, you know, they were just busting balls. But Tia was always just, you know, there for you, you know. But Matt was also really nice to train with too. You know, Matt was good, and so was Rich. Rich was he was the first guy that gave me tough love. He was like, "Hey, if you want to be here, you got to earn it. Like you gotta, you know, you gotta come in my dad's barn, you know, senior's barn, and you got to do all the workouts we got to do, and you got to go jump in the pond. And then whenever you're tired, like I told you, and I see you the next day." And I didn't, you know, I just turned my brain off, and I just loved it. I just trained all day, all night. But, you know, it was definitely different. It was definitely different stages. Like training with Rich was way different with training with like Matt and Tia. And that was like way different than training at like Reebok with Austin Maliolo and Hobart.
Well, how do you mean different? Like, what could be so different? And
I
and,
guess
and,
I
and do
guess
you
their
not like chopping
personalities.
it up? Are you like I did this podcast with Josh and Matt. We did like 20 episodes, and there was this even though people liked it, the dynamic was bizarre to me because Matt often takes jokes as real.
Okay.
So like I might be like, "Hey, could you pull that hat down any further? Like that hat you're wearing right now?"
Mhm.
And he would say something like, "Well, actually," and I'm just like chopping on him because he's wearing too light. Be like, "Actually, I can. There's a little space between here and here," and he would like fuck up the good joke. You know what I mean? Like he would be
Yeah.
like there's a it's not a bad trait. It's
Yep.
just that we're on a different
You know what it
Whereas
is?
Rich, you know, it's like everything's like there's so much joking, right?
You,
There's so much joking,
I,
but
I,
with
I
Matt, for some reason, there's like almost none. It's bizarre, and I would get off the thing, and people would always DM me, be like, "Hey," they'd be like, "He didn't get this joke. He didn't get this joke," and it was
yeah.
weird. I It's
I
not a dig
personally,
though, by the way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's not.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like, hey, we're on a different wavelength.
From knowing him, I think he hasn't let you like fully in yet because like from training at the gym with him, like he could joke around a lot. Like he likes
Yeah,
to talk about like some, you know, immature shit, and he likes to have a good time, you know. So that's what I feel like it might be. I just feel like 20
it might be
episodes.
because he's in the public eye too. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
he has everything to lose. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Like you can't crack a joke saying, "Hey, your podium banana pancake flavor tastes like this vagina I had one time when I was 20." You probably can't say that to Matt on the air, right?
Yep. No, probably not. No. But behind the scenes, he's a really good time. But I actually texted him about Twitch, and he was telling me that he actually had some friends like in the Twitch space that like play their video games, and they were making like godly amounts of money a month, like north of like $50,000 a month.
Wow.
And to me, that's a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it is, but so I texted him. I kind of just gave him a whole spiel like, hey, you know, if there's anybody that could, you know, that would introduce you to video games, it would probably be me, you know, but he never really jumped on the opportunity and stuff. But it
Does
just
he
seemed,
play?
no, I don't think he plays anything, to be
I
honest.
think he's making way more than 50,000 a month now.
Oh, with hard work pays off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure he gets a lot of people to sign up. I'm
Yeah.
sure he gets a ton of people to sign up.
Caleb, how much does that cost to sign up? How much did you? Hi. Are you at work, Caleb? You still on the show? Hi.
I
Caleb wants to be in the military so bad. That's why he always wears the fatigues.
I was actually really surprised that that Matt kind of like turned into like full-time coaching.
Dude, the first time I interviewed him, he was like, granted he was young. He was like, fuck this. I'm going to win the games a bunch of times, take my money, move into a log cabin. Fuck you guys. I ain't never opened a gym, nothing.
Yeah. So
and then now he's like, he's turned into like, check out my protein powder. Hell, I'm going to get some this and this and this. He's turned into a full fucking marketing. To be honest with you, of all the fucking people I know out there, I was actually thinking about this the other day. Sorry for just sucking my own dick so hard right here. I don't know one person who tells the truth besides me. Everyone else is fucking garbage. I don't know one. Now I see them out there. They're out there. I see them. You know what I mean? Like Elliot Holst and like there's people out there who are telling the truth.
Yep.
And I can explain to you what the truth is if someone wants to know. For starters, you have to know the difference between an idea and what's real. Like this is a hat. That's real. It's pretty. That's an idea. That's in my head. That's just an idea. It's not true. But everyone I know around me, relative to me, like they're just not real.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I have to be careful what I say around them. They can't go everywhere in their head.
Yep.
I'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's weird. No, and so it's I don't even know if it's possible for me to do a podcast with someone like Matt ever again. Because he and that's his prerogative, right? But like he wants to be safe. He wants to be safe.
Protect his brand, yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be safe.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be. I think he wanted to be free when we started. I think it looks appealing. It's fun. I'm also the happiest person I know too because I'm free.
Yeah, that's the route that from training with him. That's what I thought he was going to take. I thought he was going to
like this,
free,
like come out like this with guns blazing. Yeah.
And maybe become a plumber, and that's what I thought he was going to do. So this was crazy to see.
And he has an empire now.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like it.
And he's good at it. And he's fucking good at it. Look at Mallory O'Brien. She's fucking killing it. His athlete's a fucking shop wrecker.
I've always noticed. So he always looked at me as a competitor because I'm sure you've heard him. But he never gave me any secrets. He would never give me like any tips. He would never give me like, hey, I drink, 10 scoops of Gatorade powder and 8 ounces of water. And that's what I do. Like he never told me any of that stuff, but he always had a watchful eye on me. Like sometimes I would hit like a 225 snatch as warming up and I would hear him just be like, nice. So he's always had a watchful eye, and that might've came from his, I guess, weightlifting days when he was young, because that's all weightlifting is, you look at, you look to the ass cheeks down to the ankles, all the way up. So
he's very calculated.
Yes. Yep. And he's always been. Like I remember when we first got to Cookville, he ended up buying a sauna and it looked like an igloo. And then he was like, yo, Nick, is there any chance that me, you, Sammy, we're gonna get like some straps and we're gonna hook it up and we're gonna bring it back to his backyard? So like right when he went to Cookville, he knew he wanted a sauna right next to an ice bath. So he's really calculated. And sometimes I would go over his house after we had like a training day and like to go have dinner. And he would be just off like a 50-minute bike ride. And I'd be like, what was that for? And he'd be like, oh, nothing. So he would always keep like, a thing or two like down below that he wouldn't, but like you said, yeah, no, I think he's going to make some great athletes.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has 5,000 to 10,000 people on this program worldwide.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either because of the fact that it's kind of still newer. Yeah, I think they just did like a relaunch like a week ago or something. I was watching some lives and stuff. So
yeah, I bet you that fucked him up.
Switching platforms.
Oh, yeah. I bet you that fucked him up. If I was his friend, I'd have had a fucking pretty hard course. I had someone.
You know how it goes, trying to build people up on one platform, and then once that gets fucked with, oh my, yeah.
Dude, if every single person who I have on auto pay on my credit cards were to contact me and say, hey, just so you know, we need you to punch in your credit card again because we're switching platforms, 100% across the board, I'd turn them all off.
Yep.
Even if I love the product, because I'd want to start over again. I'd be like, I'm good. I'll sign up later.
Yep.
I would let my Sirius account, my cable, I'd let everything go just so I can just do it again. Just so I could like, and I had a friend who was fucking killing it, multimillionaire in Southern California. I think it's Newport or something. And he did that. He had a subscription service and he switched from like one platform to like Stripe or something. And he said he lost 50% of his business.
Yep.
And so, yeah, But anyway, I think he's killing it. It sounds like that podium thing has a fucking million people fucking drinking that shit. So and he's also got a lot of investors and a lot of people involved in that. I don't know what else he's involved in. The aerial shots of his property in Vermont are insane. It's beautiful. And I don't know what his deal is with Mal O'Brien and Jason Hopper, but I'm guessing that on some level they do well and the whole brand elevates, right?
Yep.
I mean,
I think Matt also his mental game. I think if he can kind of like give off his mental game where like, you eat, sleep, breathe CrossFit, you have to have kind of somebody cooking your meals, you got to shave your head not to worry about anything. I think if he can give that mindset off, that would probably be the most valuable thing. Because I think that's what separated him the most, like in CrossFit and made him, how good he is. It's just his discipline.
How about Tia? Did you see that same discipline from her?
Yes. Yep.
And how about Rich?
Rich, I've never seen just somebody train just like I watched the videos, and then when I moved to Cookeville, I was like, wow, we're really gonna do 5 workouts a day. We're gonna lift twice, and then we're gonna go do a Hinshaw track workout, and we're gonna do that 6 days a week. I was like, damn. But and then whenever I started training with Matt and Tia, I was like, wow, these guys are spending like a little less time in the gym, but it was obviously still working for them, So I think I think there's so many different methods to do,
Someone was explaining to me the other day that they know Rich is clean 100% by the way he trains. And I go, what do you mean? And they go, the only way you can be as good as Rich for that long is just to constantly, he said you can't take time off. Shit will just start eroding. And they said his fucking, I wish I could explain it better. I got to get this person on the podcast to explain to me. I was buying it. I was like, I mean, I've never thought Rich was on anything, but I was just like, wow, this is like, did you ever see of all those people that gazillion people you train with, did you ever see anyone who's on anything?
No, like any like actual like evidence,
like stuff that would get them.
Like
Yeah.
No.
Like you never we're in the locker room and Jane Doe has a fucking 3 doctors around her shooting her up with something.
No, never anything like that.
Doing like a blood swap. They got you walk in there and there's a horse next to a person and they're switching blood.
That would be like some movie shit, like how you get introduced to them like in your sport, but no, that's that unfortunately good shit like that never happened.
Nick's fall off the box at 17.1 was incredible. What a legend. Good to see him on. Gary.
Hey, thank you, Gardy.
Gardy Sanchez. How many people call him Gary? My goodness.
Yeah, that was a good time. So I fell off the box, and I think the rule was your toes have to come off the box before like your chest or like your hands or whatever hit the ground. And I didn't do that. So I had to end up actually redoing that workout.
That's always fun, right?
But we ended up doing better, I think. So, but I thought I broke my wrist. Like the next morning, I was like, oh shit. Like it just kills me just to move it like back and forth. But thankfully, a couple weeks later.
When you would see Rich and Matt interact, did you know, this is destined to be there's gonna be a breakup here? Like when you see a couple together, you're like, oh, that shit ain't gonna last.
No, in the beginning it was like, it was enjoyable. Like we were just meeting at the gym, and I got to give it to Matt. Matt is really like, I don't know if you think this, but he's really like goes with the flow. Like he was ready just to do whatever, like, Rich wanted to write on the board. So just seeing that Matt was kind of ready just to, fit in right away, I thought it was going to last. And then And then kind of unexpectedly, just, one after another, you just kind of seeing them apart. And then I kind of, still train with Rich, but then I was also kind of going to Matt's garage sometimes to train. And that actually caused some issues with me and the team, and kind of just the whole aura of it. So then I eventually decided just to stick with Matt and Tia, like, for the last of the 2 years and stuff. But I recently reached out to Rich a couple months ago, and because me and Rich, I wonder how he would feel about it, but me and him were really close. I mean, I was at his house multiple times. I mean, training, we would talk, probably, I but it kind of ended, I would say, harshly almost. Like, I kind of left and kind of trained, like, with the next group. But I kind of just reached out and, just told him, like, I was really grateful for, like, those experiences. I mean, what kid at 17, 18 years old is training side by side with Rich and learning, from the best? I just wish that my body could have kept up. And that I give it to Haley. I give it to Haley so much, because my body couldn't last, like, 2, 3 years of Rich Froning training. And she's like the Terminator. Like, she just trains, and then she just wakes up better the next day, and it doesn't hurt her. So shout out Haley.
And her reputation there is crazy.
Yeah, I would say she kind of picked up the Rich aura. Like, if you want to go get your ass beat in a workout, go see Haley.
Yeah, maybe even more so. Like, she's taking it and run with it. Like, the story there is if Rich isn't there, like, and you walk in the gym and Haley's there, turn the other way.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be doing 3 fucking gnarly workouts in a row, and you're not gonna be able to say no.
So
I guess she ran Krennikov and Guy. They both have stories now. They're like, what the fuck happened?
I can't believe Krennikov, because I actually competed against Roman in the Italy showdown in 2019.
Uh-huh.
That guy's gas tank is titanium. I mean, he doesn't get tired. I mean, all of the conditioning workouts, ski-erg, burpees, muscle ups. I mean, he just finishes top of the line. So to hear that,
him and Ricky. How about Ricky too? Gerard. Sorry, different subject.
So that I have a good story about that. So I was at the CrossFit Games 2017 just as a spectator, and that's when Ricky, had the great year. And I was walking on the outside, and I saw him and his brother Ben by a tree, and this was like maybe the day before the last day, and I was like, "Yo, this guy is inspiring me. Like, I want to go over and I want to, like, give him a handshake." So I went over to him and I was like, "Hey man, like, I just want to tell you, like, you're killing it, you're crushing it, like, keep going." And he was just like, "Thanks, man." And then, it all came out that he was fucking pumping, horse fucking tranquilizer in his ass. But
I love him.
but
I had him on the show. I love him. And I love Benny too.
He did a real good job of keeping his hype, I would say, throughout his 4-year hiatus. And I would say it would have been easier for him just to fade away and just disappear. So props to that. Because
he's a bro. He's a bro. He's such a bro. I want to like, when you hang with him, or like when he was on the podcast, he's just
he seems like that guy that'd be like, fuck it, give me some SARMs. Like, fuck it, I'll take some steroids. Fuck it.
He's just
if you'll do it, I'll do it.
He's such a good dude. He's the kind of guy, like, if like, you could just, I feel like if he lived next door to me, I could just walk over to his house and be like, "Hey, you want to go surfing?" And like, he's like, "Yeah." And you guys just jump in the van. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't need a shower. He doesn't need, like, he's just a low maintenance dude. He seems like,
dude.
God, he's a fucking savage. Did you see his performance in Dubai?
No, I did not.
Oh my goodness. He put it to Roman.
I don't really follow the competitions like that, to be honest. I watch the CrossFit Games, but
I wouldn't follow him either.
Yeah, I'm not really,
but I get to know these guys, and then I want to start following them. And I hang out with, like, I have this dude Brian on my show a bunch who talks about the games, so then I learn about it, and it makes me more interested in it.
I like Brian. He seems like I could be wrong. He probably started CrossFit shit before I did, but he seems like he's kind of a next, like a new generation kind of, like, sportscaster. Does that make any sense?
Maybe.
Right? Maybe. Like, he's kind of.
I like him just because he's committed and he's doing it because he likes it. The other guys are like
he gives you the deep insight.
Yeah, and it's just him.
Yeah. He just enjoys it. You could tell.
Yeah, the other guys are like trying to not all of them, but like there's other guys who are trying to be sportscasters. Like they watched a shitload of ESPN and they're like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Hello and welcome to the 2022 No Bullshit Games. I'm here with my partner Tommy Marquez. Tommy, great to see you, buddy. I looked at a 22 gauge in your ear. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean that CrossFit killed that off, right? They put a stake into that, so.
Well, no, those guys rule the show now. Those guys rule the show.
Well, I just mean like, the days of commentators, like, that being on ESPN kind of.
No, I think they still do all that. I think they do all that, don't they? CrossFit's not on ESPN anymore.
I know they switched to NBC. I know they did that.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's all the same to me. Right.
Okay, yeah. I guess they're probably not too much different, but
it's all. Does Twitch have censorship?
Oh yeah, so they have this called TOS, terms of service, and they actually have words that you cannot use maliciously against people. One of them actually, like, you can't call somebody a virgin.
Wow.
Yeah. Like
wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some dork shit. That is awesome. I want you could call me a virgin on my channel. If you ever have the urge, just call me up from my live calling and be like, yo, Sevan, you're a virgin.
Yeah, but then I get a habit and then I'll get kicked off. I'll get the can on Twitch. But
could you say last night I went out and fucked 3 trannies?
I just don't think it could be malicious. Like you can't.
Right.
Yeah. Like as long as
you're just 3 beautiful trannies. That's
yeah. Yeah. As long as you're not, I guess bashing them.
Malicious. My goodness.
But luckily in the 6 months I've been doing, I've no copyright strikes. No nothing. So on the PlayStation, you could do this thing called share play. So if they send you an invite on their PlayStation wherever in the world, you can actually take access, like control over whatever game they're playing on their PlayStation. Like you can play like 2-on-2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so this one guy, I like to get into people's PlayStation because they have these nice packs and it gives me content to do.
Right.
And this one guy was like, hey, let's do it. Come into my thing, whatever. And he sent me a picture of 2 guys fucking. and I pulled it up right away and I was like, oh shit. And I just like changed the Twitch. And I only had, I think I want to say 30, maybe 40 people at the time.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything. I don't know whether they were just like mature. I don't know whether I just like, because I switched off really quick. I don't know what happened, but then I had to.
Was it a still picture or
it was a still picture?
Yep. Still photo
in the messages. So once I opened his messages, it was just, it was tough.
Even if they are a virgin, I guess even if they are a virgin.
Well, no, you just can't be like, you're a little virgin or you're a little, something like that. Like
I bet you're a virgin. I'm 15. I had sex with the neighbor's daughter. You're a virgin.
I would have to imagine like assuming would probably toe the line,
I was a virgin forever. Those were good years.
Until what age?
18. My girlfriend, I had the same girlfriend from when I was 16 to when I was 18. She told me I could have sex with her. I just didn't. I had other shit to do.
See, that's interesting. I couldn't wait. I remember when I was 15.
Well, I kind of did it because I was like, fuck, I should do this before I graduate. What if she leaves me and I don't have anyone to try this with?
Oh man, whenever my girlfriend left me at 17, I remember like thinking like, yo, this might be the last, piece of ass I ever get in my life. Like,
yeah.
It,
that's
right?
what it's like when you're a young man, you have a girlfriend. You can't believe that there's a girl who lets you like touch her body. You're like, what?
And then now it's gone.
Have you seen me? Yeah.
Well, that too. And I was working out all day. Like I was in the gym. So my girlfriend was like, what the fuck, Nick? Like you're just at the gym all day long. You don't do shit. So yeah, that was a tough breakup, but
breaks your heart.
Oh man. You
have a girlfriend now?
No, actually I haven't had a girlfriend for probably 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend in Nashville, Tennessee.
Are you avoiding it on purpose?
I really feel like most people won't admit it, but I feel like it's a distraction, in some sense. I mean, obviously you can make it not a distraction and you can, keep going and still achieve whatever you want, but you know how it goes, Sevan. Eventually she's going to want to deviate your time a little bit to cater towards her. And that'll take from your time kind of chasing your goal and your dream. So I kind of don't push it. I don't force it, you know.
Right.
But
It's
if it
not that
happens,
it's not that you're opposed to one.
no, I'm not opposed to one.
But she
Actually,
got it. But she got to get in where she fit in.
true, true. I was more opposed to one a couple years ago, like 2-3 years ago, whenever I was just all CrossFit, just because I was traveling a lot. I knew that I wouldn't be able, I knew, you know, I wouldn't be able to sustain one. But now I'm kind of like, I'm ready. Maybe, you know, open to something, kick it with a girl, see if it goes somewhere. But then again, Sevan, I mean, I got time, man. 23. I mean, what?
Well, no. Yeah. You have plenty of time. I was just thinking relationships are. Here's why it's so nice I've been with my wife so long, because we've had a lot of fights. And so usually if you're in a relationship with someone, you'll have the same fight over and over and over, and it kind of just takes different forms. And so by the time we had kids, we'd had all the fights we needed to have, but we had worked through them. And of course, once we had kids, that gave us a whole bunch of new shit to fight about. But it's cool. The longer you're with someone, or just relationships it's like practice. It's like training. Yep. That's the only reason why it's like nice to have relationships. I'm disgusted by I feel sorry for people who they get into relationships and there's rules. Like if you're with someone and you're with a woman or you're with a man and they say I have boundaries, or if they project anything onto you, they say that like if man, I don't know if we want to fall into these weeds, but you shouldn't be with anyone like that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You should be with someone who completely lets you free and gets in where they fit in. Fuck you in your date night. Fuck you in those rules. Like me and my wife have the most amazing relationship, and we're two fucking cheetahs running side by side in the fucking savannah. And like, if there's a lot of hard times, but every single one's amazing because we're each responsible for our own happiness. You know, I'm not I had a girlfriend before. I'll give you like just a stupid example. I've had a girlfriend before who's like, hey, we're going to go visit my parents. You have to shave your beard. Like, fuck you.
That's
not cool. You're a horrible mate. You could say, can you please shave your beard, and then make a joke of it, or hey, oh fuck, I'm tripping because you can own it. Hey, I'm tripping because my dad really hates dudes with beards, and we're going over there with the beard, man. Like, own that shit. Yeah. These relationships where people are you didn't text me in 3 days. Fuck you. I'm fucking in Bali making a movie, bitch.
Oh man,
my wife would never do that shit to me, and I would never do that shit to her.
Yeah. I
fucking love her. Oh my God, you must have had the most amazing day ever. I didn't hear from you all day. What were you doing? God, can you come home and shower with me? Like, that's it. Like, yeah. That's fucking, and your generation's fucked up. Sorry to say.
Oh my God, Sevan. I mean, but you know what though? We are a lot fucked up and stuff. But if you realize that we're fucked up, like, you know, interacting, our social skills are fucked up.
Yeah.
Then I feel like that might help you like break through and kind of be different. That's why.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that attitude. Yeah. I love that attitude.
I use that to my advantage, Sevan. I feel like I kind of know the secrets, and I know what people are trying to hide from us, and you know, I kind of get through the bullshit. So, but I use that to my advantage.
Yeah.
You know?
You only like me because you want to fuck. Yeah, I'm hoping we can get past that. Maybe I'll like you for more later. Like,
yeah.
Don't ever like. It's just not this world we live in.
You need a sample, in my opinion.
Yeah, sample. How long have your parents been married?
I want to say 27 years, I want to say.
Yeah, what a good example.
My mom actually had a baby before my 3 brothers, but unfortunately he didn't make it. So I always think about that, like my oldest brother. Like, I wonder what he would have been like, because
why didn't he make it? Miscarriage?
I want to say so. I for some reason I can't remember though. My mom actually just told me this a couple years ago. But
was he born? Did he come out?
Shit, I can't really remember, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to say the wrong thing, you know.
Right. If he came out, that will fuck your parents up. But if he died in there, then you kind of fucks you up, but you're okay with it.
I mean, my mom waited a long time, so maybe it was a miscarriage. But anyway, so my older brother though, he's into like, I don't know if you ever heard of like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, like card games, like shit like that.
I don't know how to play them, but I've definitely heard of them. Yeah. I just saw like a headline, Logan Paul bought an expensive Pokemon card.
Oh yeah, but yeah, 250 grand, Charizard, yeah, all that shit.
Is that a real card he bought? I thought it was $5 million. Like, can he hold that? Is that real?
Oh yeah, no, that's 100% real. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, it's just so I was thinking about this. I used to play Pokemon and my brother used to play Pokemon like 15 years ago. And we would open up packs all day long. And I wonder sometimes. I wonder if we got like a Charizard that we like threw in the garbage or something that was worth like 200,000 nowadays,
Yeah, look at $6 million for a rare Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Yeah, well, that's what I always. So anytime I thought a relationship was going to be over, I just started being super honest. And if you're super honest with someone, either you guys are going to fall deeply, deeply in love, or they're going to run from you. And 99% of the time, when you're honest with someone, they're going to run from you. Hey, I like to smell my underwear at the end of every day when I take them off. And they fucking are like, you're disgusting, and they run. You're like, all right, took care of that. I don't like to do that. I made that up. Hear anyone fucking quote me on that shit? Do you think that? Do you think you're gonna get back into the CrossFit game? I know we started the call there.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to maybe get into the maybe the CrossFit YouTube space. Like I wanted to start maybe doing vlogs. I wanted to get back to Tennessee. I kind of wanted to start hanging out with the Mayhem group. Maybe I could bust out, maybe do some content or whatever. And maybe if eventually I get fit throughout having some fun, I will. But I'm not really ready to get into, I'm not really ready to throw everything away. And because
What do you mean? What do you mean throw everything away? What you built on Twitch?
Well, I mean, I truly believe if you do CrossFit and you want to win, you got to just do CrossFit.
Right.
Everything else you do is just gonna, take 5% off from CrossFit, 10% off from CrossFit. You know what I'm saying? And I've just learned like I like moving. I like doing different stuff. I know that I have more talents than just working out. I feel like that might be the reason that a lot of people don't switch sports. Maybe they stay in a sport too long because they're afraid of what's to come, what's new, what they've already built. Like they just feel safe. So I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a good thing that I got out of my shell and I kind of. Because oh my God, Sevan, after like in the CrossFit games, whenever I like won an event and I had to do an interview, my hands would start shaking and I would just be like I would just be like so nervous, So turn on the camera a little bit is definitely helped me face a fear of mine and stuff. And
that's cool. So you faced your fear with Twitch.
Yeah, talking to a camera. Yeah.
It's hard. It was only about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Well, first of all, doing the podcast at HQ was so fucking stressful. I loved it. I had a podcast when I worked over at CrossFit HQ. I loved it, but it was so stressful because I hated seeing myself on camera. Hated it. Mm-hmm. And then I started forcing myself to do some talking to the camera on my Instagram.
Okay.
But I hated it. So I'd always walk around and do it because I just hate the way I look. I don't hate the way I look for me. Like I like looking in the mirror. I just don't think that like anyone else deserves to like have to look at me. Like those people are so like, what did you do wrong that you have to look at me? Like you deserve better, you know?
Yeah. You just go into criticizing, just deeper.
Yeah. And then, so same reason I was like, you know what? I need to face this. Exactly. I just need to do this. I need to face this. And, I don't think people who don't do this stuff have any idea. Like it's weird to criticize people who don't do this.
Yep.
It's bizarre to me. What do you think about those people? You go to these Instagram accounts and they'll be like these just chicks, like every picture is a different outfit and they're in like their titties are hanging out and they're in all these poses, but but their face is always like filtered.
I mean,
that would stress me out so much because then I would feel like if anyone saw me in real life, I would be fucked up. I want to show you this really quick.
Just real quick though, it is human nature to gravitate towards, your strong points. So, but if you think your ass looks good at that angle and then
no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm okay with the ass and the titty part. It's the part where they make them. So look, I'll show you what I did here. So I took a photo of myself and I sharpened it and structured it as much as I can. So you see that?
Okay. Yep.
So that my wrinkles and my nose would be as red as possible, and I got as close to the camera as possible, just to kind of make myself look as like, that's as like not as bad as I can look, but or not as old, but that's like like if you saw me, I don't think you would see any of those wrinkles. Maybe I'm fucking lying to myself.
You know what's funny, Sevan? So
I went the opposite way to face my fear, and all these other motherfuckers, like all these women, I'm like, there's no way your face looks like that.
Just to talk a little shit, Sevan.
Yeah.
So we used
Rich uses filters.
So I used to use structure to like amplify my abs.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's funny to see.
I did that too. Yes.
It's funny to see that you're amplifying your wrinkles now.
Yes, yes. And I would do that too when I would take pictures of the CrossFit athletes. I would turn up the structure and the definition so I could see their physiques even more.
Yep.
But it's just but what do you think about that whole generation of young people? Doesn't that, I mean, isn't it like someone said, hey, Nick's lighting makes him look blown out? It's like, no, dude, he's fucking Italian, and Italians have two colors, tan as shit and white as shit. They're vampires in the winter and fucking Indians in the summer.
My mom has been begging me to go to a tanning bed. Like, please.
Oh
Nick,
God, that's so Jersey. Don't do it. Don't do it. So Jersey.
It would make me look better though, because I do look like Casper the Ghost. You know.
Well, just go outside.
Well, I mean, it's just starting to get warm, Sevan. I mean, it just hit like 50 degrees yesterday. I mean, for you, I mean, you got what? You got 80 degrees every day.
I definitely have sun every day. Every day. He made his nose bigger. Props. Thank you. I didn't actually make it bigger, but I won't, but it's cool if you think that. I just got close to the camera. Build a room at the Sevan compound, the Sevan and Nick show. I got a whole room right here.
I was actually thinking about getting into the podcast space because I was kind of, I like to get into deep thinking myself. So I'm guessing the way to make it onto podcasts are just to get like listens, like put it on Spotify, put it on iTunes, put it on OnlyFans, just put it on as many platforms as you can get listens. Like is that kind of the podcast, I guess, mission, I guess?
The goal is to take over, to be bigger than Joe Rogan and Howard Stern put together. The goal is to do that. There's no way you're going to do that unless you can go somewhere no one else has gone before, inside of your own head. And how you do that by cultivating a listening and following, I don't know. So like this dude right here, Bruce Wayne. Sevan, I saw you were on the Wadcast podcast with Hunter. So this dude like is on this dude is here every morning. And I go every morning at 7 a.m. and this cat's here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
your regulars, your
riders. This guy and some of these guys might even like have my own personal home phone number. Like they can text me or whatever. This guy right here, Brandon Waddell. I chop it up with this homie in the DMs constantly. This dude here, like this is my life. This dude here, just a homeboy.
Well, I mean, right? I'm the same thing with you, Sevan. That's why I want to be Logan Paul. I don't want to be Buttery Bros. I don't want to put a cap on myself.
What's the difference between Logan Paul and Buttery Bros? Tell me.
Well,
when you say
like
that,
Logan Paul, like he doesn't have a ceiling. Like he doesn't put himself in a box. Like I would say CrossFit, it just has, say, what's the most CrossFit subscribers? Just saying
right now. Craig Ritchie has, I think, 333,000. Yeah.
There's probably
and 642.
There's probably
643. But who's counting?
There's probably 1,000 like 16-year-olds that have 1 million subscribers that just do whatever the fuck.
Right, you know, run over candy bars with their mom's car.
Exactly, just doing way less effort, but they don't have a category on them. No, I wouldn't say way less effort because Logan Paul. But then again,
that motherfucker's grinding. Him and Jake, they're in those Nelk boys. Like those dudes are working.
So Logan Paul, it sounds like he kind of similar to me. Like he started YouTube and he started recording around 12, 13 years old. And then 17, 18, that's when his videos, I guess, started to get monetized, and that's when he blew up. And then he had the
5 years of hard work before he monetized.
It could have been more though. It could have been more. I may be getting the story wrong. And then he had that thing where he filmed the dead bodies, and that did you hear about that?
I did, but I don't know the details. But I heard he like got canceled.
Yeah, it got like,
which is the best thing that can happen to someone.
Yeah, but then he somehow made it back, and now, but I'm right with you, Sevan. I want to be an entertainer. I don't want to be the CrossFit guy. I don't want to be the guy who plays soccer. I don't want to be the video games guy. I want to eventually turn into the full package,
Right. Well, it's cool it's cool. Yeah. So
and by the way, and you said it best, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to do shit that other people won't do and won't talk about.
Right.
You got to go to those areas. You got to go, take risks.
Some people can't do it.
Some people won't let themselves.
Yeah. And
they're automated not to.
Right. It's weird, right? Because you see people with Logan and Jake who are so successful. And there's another guy, PewDiePie, right?
Yeah, so I think he's been on YouTube for a while. He's up there. Him and Mr. Beast. I think Mr. Beast is number one.
And what are their videos like? What does PewDiePie make? Is that like Jackass stuff, or is that kids?
I want to say PewDiePie. He's more of like he plays like Minecraft, so that's like a really popular video game. I want to say he does.
No shit, that's a video game, dude. The PewDiePie dude.
Well, he plays a video game.
Okay.
Because like Minecraft kills on YouTube. It's like a game that younger people play, I guess. Also, it's just
dude,
kills.
That's the game that has like Pong graphics from the 70s, right? It's just blocks.
Yes.
How the fuck is that? Okay, that's a whole. I'll have to have you on again and talk about that. I don't understand that game at all.
So I've actually never played it. I just know that there's a huge audience for it on and then Mr. B. So what he did a Squid Games remake. And apparently it costed him $3, $4, $5 million to do it. But he redid every scene, in the beginning when the eye shoots everybody.
I haven't seen Squid Game. Squid Game. Is it good? Do I need to see it?
It is. You'll get attached to the plot,
Okay.
Yeah. It'll occupy you for a little bit. I think it's like one season. So
I try not to. So I'll tell you this. I try not to do anything unless it's podcast related. So if I'm going to do the Squid Game and I don't think I'm going to have any members of the cast on, that's tough for me to give my time to it.
Gotcha.
It's a trip. But on the other hand, like I'm reading, like I said, I'm reading this book on Aristotle Onassis' biography, and there's no chance I'm having Aristotle Onassis or probably that author on. I mean, I might try to have the author on, but so sometimes some shit does sneak in, and I do like it's like those Island Boy dudes. Like I do like to at least know they exist. Like I don't want to be like a complete turd when it comes to pop culture.
I want to say they make music.
This
oh, by the way, they were also on the Logan Paul podcast, Impulsive.
Oh, they were those two guys,
and then they stormed out. Like I think the guy George Janko, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's like the third guy on the podcast. He was like disrespecting them, like asking them some questions that they didn't want to, and then they stormed out and shit. Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching that about like a month ago. So.
One of the guys that the Nelk brothers hang out with. I can't remember if it was. I watched the Logan Paul podcast the other day with Dana White, and there was a guy on there, and he is a dipshit. He should not, like, Logan should get rid of him. I can't remember which one he is. He's just not a big thinker. He's not smart. And anytime he asks questions, he goes, well, I don't really believe that. I'm just asking you, Dana. And like, he was talking about like getting rid of freedom of speech because there's some hate speech. And it's just like, he's such a small thinker. And I'm like, oh my God, you're just wasting.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard to fit in with that group. And it's like, dude, just move on. Give that, like, just brush that knucklehead away.
So when I first got hurt and I decided to stop training, take time off, and I just had free time, that's when I discovered Joe Rogan. So I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, I would just lock myself in a room and just every podcast, MMA podcast. I mean, just Alex Jones. I mean, I got to know Joe Rogan like he was pretty much like, my second dad, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he just has just a perfect rhythm, and it's just him, and he controls the tempo, and it would be hard to like, to recreate and to make better, but
He's scared. He's scared. You can see when he gets scared of stuff.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
And is this post
And
Spotify? Because on YouTube, was he, do you think there's a difference?
well, anytime I hear him talking about COVID in the early days, he couldn't say it. He couldn't say COVID. He knew because he would put all the pieces together, unless he's stupid, but I don't think he's stupid. He knew that COVID only killed people who had comorbidities, that not a single healthy person died. He knew that, and he couldn't say it. He would dance around it. He couldn't say this only kills fat motherfuckers who are addicted to added sugar and refined carbohydrates. And he knew it.
Yeah.
And anytime I heard him bring the subject up, he would fucking pussyfoot around. That's okay. I ain't hating. I ain't mad at him at all either. But when I would see him do that, that's what makes me know that there's room.
Yeah.
There's room
Mhm.
in the space. There's room to be more real. There's room to be more logical. And granted, like, he had those doctors on and fucking killed it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Rogan's a man amongst fucking boys. Like, but it makes me realize when I see him do that stuff that there's room. Did you see his podcast with Matt?
I did. I watched it.
Can you give an honest opinion on what you thought of it?
Man, I wish I watched it recently, right? Because I watched it like 2 years ago.
It was I think it was a train wreck.
Give me your opinion.
An absolute. I've never really given it. I mean, I kind of gave. It was just an absolute fucking train wreck. It didn't help anyone. I don't think it helped Matt. I don't think it helped Joe. I felt it was weird.
Yeah.
And maybe Matt. I think Matt has said that he was nervous on there. But
I can imagine.
Fuck, it was a train wreck.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think it was. I was bummed.
They did go for a while though. But
they did go for a while. They went for 3 hours, and I was doing the podcast with Matt at the time, so I didn't want to just like come out and say like, because for Matt to come on a podcast with me was giving me tremendous opportunity.
And Josh, yeah, I'm sure.
Tremendous. I mean, Josh and I joke around about it all the time. Like, I didn't call him for a month, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? You got too big for me?" Like, yeah, maybe I did. Like, he knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he had to reel my shit back in.
I love Josh. So whenever I was 18, Nike decided to sponsor me for 2 years, and then they flew us out, me, Alexis Raptis, and Josh Bridges to Oregon, and it was just nice, like, hanging out with Josh for a few days, riding around. I think he gave a speech for like the Nike military. I think they have like some type of charity or something, so he gave a little speech. It was just it was a good time. It was a good time to hang out with Josh for a few days.
Yeah, he's good. Jake, I don't know this because I don't know the Nelk brothers work at all, but I think what the Nelk brothers do is they get 4 beehives and they drill a hole in them, and then they watch porn and get a hard on and stick their dicks in the beehive. And there's cameras in there, and you can watch the bees swarm their cocks. Then a month later, they interview Donald Trump. That is what Mr. Paladino, Nick Paladino, and I are talking about, the winner of the 2016 CrossFit Kitty Games. That's what we're talking about in terms of having a wide breadth of audience, of skill set, of ability to juggle all those things. And that's what basically you see Stern and Rogan do too. But the Buttery Bros, when you say they step out of CrossFit too, by the way, this dude's cool. This dude's always in the comments too, especially through Rain and Gymshark. That's all CrossFit is what I think is what Nick and I are saying. And they do a lot of stuff in the Gen Fitness space. I don't know what the Gen Fitness space is, but all of that other stuff that's not CrossFit stuff is just stuff like my generation grew up on, and is kind of now coming back a little bit, courtesy of like, Marcus Philly and Camille's husband,
Lipson, Dave.
Yeah, Dave Lipson and shit like that. So I think, I mean, do you agree with me, Nick? I think what we're talking about is like really stepping out of your comfort zone. Like, I had Akira the Dawn on, like yep. He's like,
it just always thinking about that next idea that's going to make you nervous, but that might also unlock that next road, that next step. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what's crazy is the guy Will Brandstetter who runs my
By the way, Sevan, have you actually ever smoked that weed before?
not in years,
Oh, okay.
not in like I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
I ate some weed like 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
You ate some. That's funny.
I was at a party. I used to smoke every day, like 10 times a day. But I have like 20 bags of weed like this because I grew 50 plants in my backyard.
Did you figure out how to grow them yourself, or did you have
Yeah. Back in the
okay.
day, I was a fucking kingpin. I got two how to grow marijuana books. I was a fucking I'm like you, I'm obsessed.
Did you just have free time, or did you want to actually make a career out of it and actually
Yeah, when it was illegal, it was fucking you could make so much money.
Oh yeah, like
so I rented a house and I put 20,000 watts of light bulbs in there, and yeah, and I have a website. I have a website. I don't even know if it's still up. Yeah, it's called Seymour Buds. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Let's see. Seymour Buds. And I got 2 books. Seymour Buds. Oh, it looks like the website still is up. Oh, no, the Flash player is no longer supported. The first book I wrote was called 15. Oh, no, is this the video or I made a bunch of videos and I have 2 books that were published.
Oh, wow. About weed.
Yeah, how to grow marijuana.
Nice.
Hey, dude, oh, shoot. I want to show you my YouTube station real quick, but then I'll tell you about the marijuana books. And they're still in publication, and I still make money off them. It's great. It's cool.
Very good. So what, like if somebody buys it offline, or if somebody, stumbles upon Barnes and Nobles and
yeah.
Okay.
Is Barnes and Noble still around?
I don't know, actually. Maybe like a couple.
Let's see. So and this is me trying to avoid CrossFitters. This is me like, okay, so CrossFit. This is a dude in the Ukraine that I talk to every Sunday, which is kind of funny, right? Because he's in a war-torn country in Odessa. Yep. And I'm talking to him, but he's a CrossFitter, but we don't really talk about CrossFit. We just talk. He tries to convince me that that everything there is bad. I mean, I shouldn't say try to convince me. Everything there is fucked up. And then it's like CrossFit. And then I do live call-in shows, and it's crazy how good those do now. You see, this one has 4,200 views, and this one right here has 5,400 views. And these aren't CrossFit related necessarily, but those used to be horrible. Those shows I used to only get like 800 views, and now I've been doing it a year and they get like 5,000 views. Then I got this guy, Zach Bitter, on. I don't know if I would say he's not CrossFit, but he ran 100 miles at a 6:48 pace per mile. And then I got all this CrossFit. Then I got a UFC dude.
So I did watch the Christian Harris podcast. I mean, that guy is chill like ice, huh?
That was hard for me. That was hard for me.
Like I think
I like him, but it was hard.
I think he's from New York, or I think he's from around my area. But yeah, he was relaxed. So
I got a lot of DMs saying, "Oh, you couldn't get Christian to open up," or "Holy fuck, you worked your ass off." But then I got like this guy Eli Wiebe. He wrote a book on what it was like owning like the nightclub that Dan Bilzerian and Justin Bieber went to every single night. You know what I mean? And that was crazy. Then this guy was just like I'm not a religious dude, but he's just a hardcore religious dude. He calls himself the Warrior of God. And I saw him on Instagram, so I had him on my podcast. I had Elliot Hustle on. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Would you say I had Michael Easter on? So I guess they all are kind of. I try to have comedians on. I had this dude Brian Monarch. I had the Liver King on. So I guess I kind of am stuck in the fitness space. Even though I had this guy on, David Rush. He set a bunch of world records, but they're not fitness related. A bunch of UFC guys. Oh, I had Patrick Bet-David on. That was crazy. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yes, I do. I watched his interview with Kobe Bryant.
Okay, yeah.
I was surprised that you got him on. I was like, nice.
Hey.
I was like, let's go.
Hey, so I'm trying, but I'm not.
And that's only because like I don't know if he is, but I just feel like he's a mogul, like a billionaire, like mogul. Like I feel like it would just be the hardest thing ever to get him to respond to you. That's the only reason why,
Dude, when he responded to my DM,
you probably
ran out onto the trampoline and fucking started panning my chest. My kids are, what are you doing? I'm like, give me space.
Yeah. That's a boss kind of guy right there.
Yeah, it was good. Liver King was huge too. The only second podcast he'd ever done. So what's cool about all these people, Nick, is when I get off with them, and maybe they say this to every podcaster, they're like, every one of them when we get off there is like, holy shit. And I go, what? And they go, that was fucking dope. I've never done a podcast like that. So
yeah, no, I just
dig
podcast
it.
hanging out where, you know, words fly off the tongue and, you know, you guys make points and get shit done. I've only done I've done Froning and Friends podcast like 5 or 6 years ago. I want to say that video did well. I want to say they actually called it the roast of Nicholas Paladino. And it was just Rich, like, you know, just kind of just, you know, showing me the way and just maybe being a little harsh about it, just depending on who you ask and stuff. But that video did really well. And then I did a couple more little short interviews for CrossFit. But yeah, doing podcasts, it's not something you do every day.
Yeah, 30,000 views.
Yeah, that was a little while ago. How long ago was that?
2020. No, 2017.
Yeah, so I was, oh my God, Sevan, I was so nervous, man.
I like that he knows he is young and he has a lot to learn. He's humble. Rich is so disappointed, which he should be. Kids these days. Turkey bacon all day.
Oh, I was telling him that my mom cooks me a pound of bacon sometimes.
I love Angry Ellie.
Oh man, I
Hey,
miss Ellie. Ellie's amazing.
do they still do? Does Mayhem still do a podcast?
They've definitely slowed down. I know that they were doing it, I want to say last year, maybe it could be a little, but I think they've slowed down. I think I heard Rich say that they were rebuilding the studio or that they were getting that sorted. I think that's what I heard.
He has a 15-minute total body workout that published 3 hours ago. Then he has Mayhem versus Krypton. Then he has Mayhem Freedom, quarterfinals, day in a life, tips and tricks. I thought, oh, here's one with Ellie. This one might be a podcast. Yeah, I don't see their podcast anymore. Maybe someone in the comments. When he told Sevan the story of why he came on the show, Sevan nut in his pants instantly. That's not necessary. Okay, that's true. Fine. He's talking about Patrick Bet David. At the very end, I'm like, so why'd you come on the show? Why'd you come on the show? Okay, so it looks like Ellie has something. But I can't tell if it's a no, so they don't have a podcast. Well, that would make sense because, you know, he's been open to coming on my show more often. You know, Rich and I didn't talk for a couple years. There were some people that I had issues with in the CrossFit space. We had issues. I had imaginary issues with them in between my head. You know what I mean? Like anxiety. Kelly Starrett, Jason Khalipa, and Rich Froning. And so when I started this podcast, I was like, okay, I'm going to kind of clear the air up with these guys, and I'm going to do it on the air, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were all fucking great. It wasn't like, you know, like Kelly fucked my wife or like I got caught stealing Rich's car. It wasn't like anything like that. But just political places, you know, being at HQ that we didn't. Our cogs kind of rubbed wrong. I couldn't even tell you what. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I literally, it's not like I'm avoiding being specific. I can't tell you what. And so I had Kelly on, and that was dope. We had fun, and then I've had Jason on a shitload of times now, and I've had and Rich has come on a bunch of times. And fuck, that's an honor to have Kelly, Jason, and Rich be willing to come on.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is.
And, you know, I just want to pair them up a little bit. And I could be wrong on Kelly because I think he does more like paid stuff, but Kelly Starrett and Jason Khalipa, man, they had YouTube. Like they were the you know, on the social media pioneers. Like, you know, if your knee hurt, you know, Kelly Starrett. And then I remember Jason Khalipa doing like live workouts, I would say years ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's just interesting to see them now. Like, you know, I feel like Kelly Starrett really isn't in the spotlight anymore. And then I feel like Khalipa is kind of, well, I know he has like, you know, life things and stuff like that combined, but it's interesting to see where they, you know, where they were to where they are now, you know. And
if you neglect your station, it dies.
Yeah, your people.
Yeah, they die. I had Elliot Holz on, and he got his YouTube account up to 1 million.
Yep.
Then he left it alone. And like that was one of the things we talked about when he came on the show. He's like, yeah, the fucking thing is like, you know, I have 1 million subscribers. I get 12,000 views per episode.
I thought about this. I don't know if I could deal with the feeling, Sevan, of like knowing where you once were and seeing that and then like where you are now. You know, like wouldn't that kill you? Do you think?
when you say it, it does, but like people like me and you just want to fight. Like not fight sorry. That's not right because the fighting's totally different because I'm not a fighter. Me and you are totally up for the challenge of working hard.
Yep.
We're totally up for reinventing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So part of that, I totally get what you mean, but like you've already proven I mean, imagine how, I don't think anyone can imagine how hard it was for you to go to being the CrossFit Games teen champion and being surrounded by the 3 best people who've ever done the sport and who will ever do the sport in our lifetime to fucking having getting on a computer and trying to build a Twitch account. Like this is my wife the other day on April 1st, she said to me, "Hey, I have a job interview at Pete's Coffee today." And I'm like, "You do?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I remember thinking to myself, "Holy shit, people we know are going to see her working there." And then my next thought was, well, fuck, I wish I had the courage to do that. I wish I could go into fucking Pete's and get a job. That'd be dope. I've always wanted to work at like a pizza or Starbucks. I would kill that shit. I'm so nice to people. I fucking love people.
I
would murder that. And then she goes, April Fools. And I was like, fuck. And I was so excited that I got to see what a fucking pretentious douche I am. My first thought when people are going to see you there.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like I was too good for that. And so like, it's not easy. I'm fucking 50 years old and I fucking come on here on YouTube and I'm like scraping to get fucking to stay relevant. You know? Like,
yeah.
But I'm having a fucking blast and the station, it's working. The station's growing. It's actually exploding. On iTunes and Spotify, we've just taken over.
I want to say, Sevan, I followed you. I could be wrong, but I want to say 2 months ago, I subscribed to you, and I think you're at like 11.4. Now you're at like 12.7. So,
do we make it to 12.7?
I want to say. So, I don't know. I like to keep my eyes on things. You know?
I'm the blue check mark, and people like the people like. The fact that there's some crazy things that people have done for me. The fact that like I did that show where I did a show where I had Daniel Brandon and Sarah Sigmund's daughter on in the same show, and I just separated 1 hour of each, and that was me just like being like, can I do this? And that's fucking crazy that Danielle and Sarah would participate. They have to know what they're doing for my account. They have to. The fact that I asked Rich this past weekend and Angela if they'd come on Wednesday, and they're like, sure. And I don't even know for sure if they're going to come on, but I scheduled it. You know what I mean?
Angelo and his friend Rich.
Yeah, and his friend Rich, right. and the fact that Matt did that show with me for 20 episodes, like the fact that people have done, like it's crazy. But that being said, you will never make it with just big guests. Big guests do not move the needle, the big needle. They move the little needle. Okay, I got 30,000 views because Matt came on, right?
Yep.
But they will not move the big needle. And the big needle is the subscriber needle. They will not move that. And that's what's fucking crazy. That takes the only way to move the big needle, I think, from what I know. And
before I forget this, Sevan, it's funny you say that because on Twitch, there's this feature that is called you can raid somebody. So say I'm live on Twitch and somebody's done this before. They had like 3,000 live viewers, watching them play that game. And then they're like, hey, boys, I'm ending. I'm going to send all you guys to a channel. So you can like raid somebody. So I've gotten really lucky, and out of nowhere, I just been surprised with like 2,000 fucking people, and they're all in the chat like, "Oh, you got a big nose. Well, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Where you from?" And then, like you said, after a couple days, it weeds out a little bit. You get back to the core guys, and then hopefully you grab a few more. But yeah, you said it right. You said right. Special guests help in the moment, but yeah, the big needle, it's not having big guests. I agree.
And there's good signs too. You can do this. I can see Matt go on someone else's podcast who gets 300 views a show, and he goes on there and he gets 8,000 views. I can see when he comes onto my show, it gets 40,000 views. If let's say I normally only get 2,000 views a show, when he comes on, so that's always positive. Like my ego gets fed by that, and that keeps me going. What's crazy? Here's the craziest thing. And I'm just realizing this. I'm 50 years old. There's no one who's done in marketing on the entire planet what I did. I was the executive director of CrossFit Media, the fastest growing chain the planet's ever seen, faster than Starbucks, Apple, Subway. We were opening 5 fucking gyms an hour at one point.
Yep.
And I was in charge of everything that was forward facing. But in my heart, I'm just a fucking little kid who just works hard and I don't know shit. And recently someone said to me, hey, you've changed the game. And I thought to myself, oh yeah, okay, maybe I am changing the game. Then I'm like, wait, what? I created the fucking game. It was Lauren Glassman. The very first media person was Lauren. She made Nasty Girls, then Tony Buddy, and then me. And everything else after that's built on my shoulders. And I can see it. I can see my mark on the group.
Yep.
And so it's weird. It's like, so can I start all over again? And what's crazy is I have all the answers for those guys, and I don't even know I have the answers. But now more and more, like I see the stupid shit CrossFit is doing now. They have fucking retards now. I mean that in the most affectionate, kindest way possible. It's idiot fucking central.
Yeah. I mean, so
and I've given them all the answers on my podcast too. And the people there know that too, that I'm better than them. They're not like, they know. Like they all know. Yeah. They already know that I'm harder working than all of those people there anyway. They see what I'm doing on my own podcast. I've taken over the space. But it's just, it's weird. But you're right. I've had to go all the way back down. I'm still too good to work at Pete's, but I had to go all the way back down to just start my own YouTube station. And really, like the guy Will Brandstetter, who runs my Instagram, he's a 22-year-old kid. He's way smarter and way more talented than me, and he's fucking killing it. Matt Souza runs all the behind the scenes and scheduling, and Caleb's like when no one shows up for me, Caleb's there for me. So I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, and I'm on fire, and I can get guests like you. So it's cool.
No, this is awesome. This is awesome. And you know what? I'm happy I learned this soon. You know, I mean, of course, maybe, you know, if I would have, you know, eventually went to win the CrossFit Games, that would have been nice, you know, because I had plans to win it. You know, I was always in my head. I was like, by 23, 24, you know, that's when Matt, you know, first won it or around there. I always had this idea. But, you know, I've also taught myself now that, you know, it's okay to go a different path that, you know, people might, you know, think that you should go down. And then that's truly where I feel like you could unlock, you know, maybe Floyd Mayweather things, Conor McGregor things, you know, like next level, I guess, social media empire.
What do you think about having to already be there in your head? Like to actually be there. I don't think, like, as much as I love Joe Rogan and I love Howard Stern, like I think I can go places that they can't go. I think I'm already there. Now I'm just waiting for the rest to fucking fill in around me.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that till I read Patrick Bet-David's book. I was like, I don't think ahead. I don't have goals. But then I was like, holy shit, when I step in here and close the door, I'm the greatest that ever lived.
Yeah.
But I don't like tell myself that, but I can't really explain it.
Yeah, no, you definitely, I agree. You got to have that. You just got to believe that you can do it. You know, you got to manifest it almost. You got to tell yourself, you know, but then again, you know, being nervous and kind of not being so sure, that also sometimes makes you a little better during pressure. You know
I'm so scared walking in here. What am I going to say to Nick? He's young. Like all the questions, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I don't know any of his games history. I'm freaking out, right? Yep. Even though I do tons of research on everyone, I'm freaking out. But then when the door closes and I sit down and the mic comes on, I can't show any of that.
Nope.
It's on like on. When I was 20, when I was 23, I wanted to be comfortable taking my shirt off by the time I was 33. That was like one of my fitness goals. I never achieved it either. I never became comfortable.
I saw you flexing though on the podcast a couple days ago.
Yeah, my arms can get pretty crazy. I'm a little guy. I'm 5'5". I'm just a little fucking. I mean,
I'm like
this guy
on a good day. So.
This guy I saw come out of the shower once in a hotel. You do not Cobra Rhodes. He's a professional arm wrestler. And it fucking ruined me. His body's so nice. And like, you see, I was in his hotel room kicking it with him, and he fucking comes walking out, and he's like made of rebar.
Dude,
like, I wish I'd have never seen that.
Have you ever have you ever felt the power of somebody that actually takes arm wrestling like serious?
Oh, this guy's like one of the greatest arm wrestlers who ever lived. This guy at one point was the greatest arm wrestler who ever lived. This guy Cobra Rose, and dude, you can't even. And he's little.
Yeah,
he's like a fucking 5'10", 165 guy, and you can't.
It's like his shoulder is made out of like bolts and nails.
Yeah, like the Russians bring that guy to Russia to tell him it's fucking weird. Yeah. Someone. I wonder. I think his name's Andrew Cobra Rose. I wonder if I can bring up. I'm sure I have tons of pictures of him, like, somewhere in my shit, just not on this computer. Let me see. Andrew Cobra Rose. Let me see. He's so good. Did you know I made a documentary on professional arm wrestling?
No, I did not. Where was it?
It's called Pulling John.
Pulling John.
It's one of the it is the seminal movie on professional arm wrestling. It has no peer. Look, so here he is. Oh shoot, I screwed that up. Here's with Stallone. I think Cobra was just in a big Hollywood movie too. Okay, so here's like two of the greatest who ever lived. That's John Brzenk and that's Cobra Rhodes. Wow, I didn't realize maybe Cobra's 6 foot, 6'1", because John's tall. I don't see any naked pictures of him.
Over the top, classic. That's kind of what like introduced me to like arm wrestling, kind of made me kind of have respect for it. I think my coach, I think I was like 16 or 17. He was like, dude, best arm wrestling movie ever, man. Stallone, Over the Top. Actually, it wasn't a bad one.
No, it wasn't. It was funny. It was good. Damn, I want to see if I can find any videos of this dude when he was young. Man, he's so good. I wonder how old Cobra is now. Cobra, how old are you? I bet I think he's older than me. I'm 50.
I always wondered what they do for training.
It's been a few days since I didn't eat any raw meat while I was sick for some reason. I don't know why. I think I just fell off the bandwagon, but I probably will today now that you mention it. 6'1". He's 6'1". Okay. 5'10". Yeah,
I can't believe I maybe I'm 23, maybe I'm not that age yet, but I can't imagine eating raw meat. I can't imagine not putting my burger on the grill before eating it.
Wait. I don't smoke weed. I was just sick a couple days ago. Hey, what about Italians don't do any like raw meat shit? Like when you were a kid, you didn't do any?
No. You know what I did though when I went to the Italian showdown, I saw my grandpa. He went up to like a fisherman on the side like of a street in Italy, and he just bought like 100 snails in a bag, and you could just see the snails like crawling up. And then right there, I kind of made a peace with myself. I was like, I'm going to try one. So when we got back, it wasn't raw, but when they got back, they boiled them, and I had some snails. That I guess if you boil them, not really raw anymore. But that's like that's the closest that I've ever been. Some snails.
Cobra, I got to have you on the show. What a great thing. Going back to that DEI thing, that's the funny thing too. Someone said, "Oh, don't worry, CrossFit will be fine. They're doing a thing on women in the sport." It's funny that women's piece that they did. It's so funny that they don't mention Lauren Glassman, Haley Parlin, and Jamie Budding. Those were the first women in the sport. Those were the first women who Haley's made fucking 50 videos. It's so fucking funny. And what made me think of that is Cobra's a black dude, and he was in the most white trash fucking sport fucking of humanity.
Well, because
ever fucking seen. And not only did he dominate, but he'd go to these fucking inbred white fucking butt white countries like fucking Ukraine or Belarus or wherever in Georgia and teach these motherfuckers how to arm wrestle. Yep. And he's fucking black as night. But I think Cobra speaks like 5 languages too. He's a fucking Renaissance man. He does it all. He sings, he does dances, he does paints, he's got like 10 kids. The motherfucker could do it all.
I just wanted to give my my first and only honestly interaction with Greg Glassman. I think it was after I won.
Oh yeah, this is good.
This is after I won the games. I want to say it was the first year for some reason. And I was walking
2016.
Outside. The first year I won was 15.
Okay, damn.
So I wanted to say, this was like the peak of CrossFit. Like, so
God, you really have gone bottom of the barrel. 2-time games champion at Twitch. I fucking love it.
But Twitch's ceiling. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you heard what video games could do. But anyway,
it's bigger than porn, right?
I don't know yet, but there,
It
people
dwarfs the movie industry, right?
people believe that esports, electronic sports, will be bigger than regular sports one day, and that's probably going to happen with the way technology is moving, don't you think?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
way that COVID is keeping people inside and people are scared to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, but so anyway, so I was walking around and um, I saw Greg in a crowd of people, and I kind of like worked my way in there, and he must have saw my t-shirt, and he like embraced me and he gave me a hug, and he was like, "Congratulations, Nick." And then I want to know if this like explains him. He was like, "Nick, if you ever see me anywhere, just pull me to the side, like just pull me out of a crowd and say hi to me." And I was like, "Wow." I was like, that might have been one of the nicest encounters I've ever dealt with, like with a high level person like that. You know what I'm saying?
The difference between CrossFit now and CrossFit back then is Greg didn't look at people because they were white or a woman or because they were black or because any reason. He fucking just loved everyone. He fucking loves people. He wanted to help all of humanity. That's why the first media lady was Lauren Glassman. That's why the pottery teacher, Nicole Carroll, is probably the most influential woman now in the history of fucking fitness, men or women.
Yeah.
And no one ever saw these people as fucking women. All that shit that they do now is all divisive. All divisive. They don't even realize that they're just chumps. And that lady one of those ladies in that article, I'd love to interview her and ask her how she got to the top. I know how you got to the top, and you wouldn't want anyone to know how you got there. Everyone knows who you dated to get to the top. Fucking jokers. You fucking jokers. You fucking racist, sexist, fucking pieces of shit.
And then just one,
and they're saying CrossFit's always been about equity and diversity. That's how that article starts. No, it wasn't. We didn't give a fuck. It was always about humanity. You're ruining it. You fucking ass clowns.
And I got one more story, Sevan, and then you can go.
Yeah, okay.
You mind?
Yeah, please. I would like. I want to hear 100 stories. I want to I want to know how big Rich's dick is. You ever seen it?
No, never. Actually, we were in the locker room. Like we used to go swimming, and I don't. But anyway.
I want to hear that it's like this big.
But anyway. So this was. I want to say this is my second time meeting Castro, because the first time was when he handed me my first place medal after I won the games. Yes. So this was at regionals in Albany, New York, and this was 2018 when they had the ring dips. Remember that? And a couple people, like 20, 30, 40.
Tell me what year. Sorry, I was looking at the comments. Tell me what
2018.
Okay.
And then I want to say, I hope I'm correct, that's when they had the ring dip, dumbbell snatch workout at regionals, and a lot of people were tearing their pec.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so, okay.
Were all those people juiced up?
That tore their pec?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't, because I just turned 18, so I don't know that. I don't think it's any correlation. You know what it was?
Did you tear your pec?
So I slightly tore mine. So like an idiot, I did really well in the first event. I think I took 4th out of everybody. Mm-hmm. So the first event, I was like, holy shit, like, it's working. Like, first year in the adults, like, I could jump through this fucking ceiling right now. And then like an idiot, I didn't really warm up. I just ran right to the warm-up area when it was time to go. And I did 1, 2 on the second ring dip. I heard a pop right like on the edge of like my chest. And then I was like, oh, fuck. So I started knocking out push-ups, and I was like, it feels like someone's like, shanking me, just like a slow burning.
Oh,
pain,
yeah. I've heard that's how it feels. Yep.
And it just gets more increasing. So I asked the medical team, I was like, hey, like, what are we thinking here? And they're like, probably partial tear. We can't promise you won't tear it. But so.
What did that have to do with Dave? You were going to tell Dave Castro.
Oh, that is right. So then after that event,
every story you should drop a big name in it. Every story. Every story.
So in the back, right? So Dave Castro was there, and he was walking around, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, anybody ever tell you look like Matt? And
I used to think that like crazy too.
And then I go, yeah, but it gets better. So then I go, yeah, sometimes. Then he goes, what happened? You tore your pec? And then I go, yeah. He goes, that sucks. And then he walks away.
Oh God, dickhead.
It turned, and I was like, that sums up Castro.
Dickhead. You sent me a link to the YouTube, but for some reason it won't go to my computer. Do you have 1 minute, Nick, before you run?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. The greatest pound for pound. I don't normally do shows this long.
Yeah, we went 2.5 hours. That's
Greatest
it
pound
flew
for pound
by.
arm wrestler of all time. Oh, there it is. Okay, Cobra Rose. Okay.
It's good talking though, you know. It's good getting stuff off your chest. It's good talking about different shit that you wouldn't usually talk about, you know.
Yeah, always. Okay, share screen, and then I'm gonna go to Chrome tab. I think that's how greatest pound for pound. Okay, let's see. So this is Cobra right here. Let's see if I can. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I could hear the water, the wind.
Get permission. Can get permission. Oh, wait, there we go. So he's got a video that calls him the pound for pound greatest of all time, and it's fucking not an understand. I mean, you could have to ask John Brzezinski, but I bet you John might agree.
I'm just taking a guess, but what was this, like late 90s?
Yeah, probably. I think Cobra might fight too. Well, I didn't know him when he had short hair. I've always known him when he had long hair. I didn't know him when he was like. Man, he was slick. Look at that guy's just running away. See how that guy turning his hand? He's just running away from Cobra. Yeah, anytime you see someone, and look, Cobra's holding on. That's him arm wrestling, the greatest arm wrestler who ever lived, and he broke his hand back. Did you see he broke John Brzezinski's wrist back like that? That was crazy. Never ever see that. Yeah, that's
Dude, look at those forearms.
Yeah. When he puts his tongue out, it makes me want to like just rub a stamp on it. Mail letter. Yeah, I gotta have this dude on. This dude's crazy. Well, thank you, brother, for your time. So fucking
Sevan,
cool.
Thank you. I don't know if Caleb's still here, but thank you, Caleb.
He said the wherever he was, the internet went out. He's on government internet. Oh, here, let's see. Sevan, pulling John is $7.99 on Amazon Prime. I know what I'm watching tonight. Yeah, it's great. It's dope movie. I can't remember if Cobra's in it. Sevan got angry. Let's put some sugar on top. No, I don't get angry. I just party. I'm a fucking drama queen. I just party. I don't really get angry. And when I do get angry, it's just like, I don't know if have you ever been to Africa?
No.
In those deserts in Africa, it's like, do you remember the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoons where there's just like a cloud and it moves around and it's just raining like in one little spot?
Kind of.
It's like that in Africa. Like you can see, like there'll be a spot like just the size of a football field, and you just see it's just pouring rain from the heavens. But it's just like you're standing in 110-degree heat and it just goes by you like 20 feet away.
Dude, that's crazy.
And that's how like my emotions are. Like they just come and go. But I'm the watcher of all. All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, Sevan. Appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, circle back around someday. Good meeting you. Absolutely. I can't wait to talk shit about you next time I see Angelo. It's gonna be great.
Hey, sounds good.